and work toward tournaments, which will begin right after President's Day. For the Division I teams, Division II teams like MTCS and PCA, they'll get cranking probably before that, the week before that. So got a lot to get to here this morning. We're talking with boys basketball coaches today. Let me give you the lineup on the show that has been on the air now 33 years. That's unbelievable. 33 years. Me here for 32 of those 30. Well, no. Yeah, 32 of those 33 years. Time flies when you're at the game, I guess. I know it's having fun. Anyway, Riverdale, Smyrna, Blackman between now and 9:45. And Danny Brewer will have those interviews for you this morning. Then it will be Laverne at 9:45, followed by Oakland at 10, Stewart's Creek 10:15, Rockville 10:30. Then we will welcome in Siegel at 10:45, Eagleville at 11, and 11:15 for MTCS Cougar Corner this morning, within a minute or two of all of those times. And John will have the last leg of the show, and I'll be in for middle relief today. And we've got several coaches already here, so let's get into it with our Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard. Let me give you some scores from last night. Here are the girls' scores from last night. It was Laverne beating Smyrna in the big rivalry game, 40-15. Also, Stewart's Creek with a gigantic win, 71-67 over Cookeville. Cookeville dropping to 16-4, a top 10 ranked team in the state, and Cookeville Lady Cavaliers falling last night. Central Magnet, that is, 46, Franklin County 38. It was Oakland downing Rockvale 62-55, and 57-52, Siegel the victor over Riverdale last night in a game that I hope you heard or watched from WGNS and Big G TV. And it was Moore County 53, Eagleville 16. That was the finals in girls. Now to the boys finals, and I'm reading these right straight off of wgnssports.com, the local scores article that's there at the top. So you can see all of the scores from there as well as we get them through the night. They're updated throughout the night on a game night, and all the scores for the week. Last night in boys, it was PCA defeating MTCS 84-44, and Laverne 57, Smyrna 56. Last second shot right there to put Laverne over the top. We'll be talking to both of those coaches this morning. It was Stewart's Creek a win over Cookeville 71-52. Central Magnet falls to Franklin County 64-39. And Rockvale outlasting Oakland 70-65. And a final last night, Siegel 51, Riverdale 43 in a game I hope you heard or watched. And if you didn't, the podcast is at wgnssports.com. Free to go back and listen or watch to the game or watch the game. It was Eagleville a winner 58-46 over Rockvale. And that was on Monday night. Yeah, they played on Monday. Eagleville did not play Tuesday, so they played Monday, Friday, and it was the battle for Highway 99. Eagleville winning that one, 58-46 in boys, and also boys, Eagleville 74 and Moore County 28. Eagleville boys improved to 19-2, one win shy of 20 wins in the regular season, and ranked number 1 in the state. That is your Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard. When we come back, we will have Riverdale first up, Riverdale, Smyrna, Blackman straight ahead here. Then I'll rejoin you. Danny's coming up next with our first interview to kick us off on this first day of February, Saturday morning, 2025 on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, from oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Let's hear from customers of Dr. Automotive.
He does a good job. He lets you know what's going on and do it at a good price.
Danny does a lot in our community, so he's very involved and invested.
I recommend family, friends. Danny is spot on because he'll suggest what I need to do, and of course, I've never had an issue.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
At Little Caesars, get a large custom 2-topping pizza for only $7.99 when you order online. Wait, did I just say $7.99? Get out of here. This pizza is only $7.99. No way. This is $7.99? You're joshing me. You're saying this pizza perfection is only $7.99? Well, you're crazy for this. Listen, pirate, stop taking my $7.99 pizza. Choose a large custom 2-topping pizza for the unbelievable price of $7.99 when you order online. Only $7.99. What?
Pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They tell you what to do. They walk you through it. It's been my experience that what I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Visit our website at parksauction.com.
Hi there, Parks Auction, 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com. I'm Danny Brewer. Welcome to the Coaches Show. You know, I'm really happy because I've got veteran basketball mastermind Michael Voss of Riverdale High School here sitting beside me. Coach Voss, how are you this morning?
Good, Danny. How you doing?
Quite well, sir. You know, exciting time of year. I say this every week because it really is. District play is kind of one of those things that I like as a sports writer because there's so much competition, and it's so good because we've got this district where there's all these rivalries and all these schools that are close together. And tell me a little bit about your thoughts on. I mean, district play can be good news, bad news, but for a guy like me, it's always good news.
I mean, it's good news. I mean, it's one of those things you work all year to get to this point, and you know, you look up, it feels like everything has flown by this year. We've got 2 weeks left in the regular season. You know, for us, that's 3 district games, and we'll sit there and we put ourselves in a position to make a little run here late. You know, we had a little bit of a not a letdown, that's not the right word, but we had a chance to win a game last night and just couldn't quite finish it off in the end and make enough run. You got to give Siegel you got to give Siegel credit because they came out and played really well early. You know, when you open up the game 11-0, it makes it real hard to come back, and that was where we struggled a little bit. But district play is exciting. Our league, when you look at it, it's as tight as it can get. You know, with 3 teams in the middle kind of fighting to stay out of that one game. So, you know, these 2 weeks are going to be real interesting.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the things that makes it super, super exciting for the fans and for everyone is because there's really a lot of balance in the district this year. Would you agree with that? There is balance. I mean, when you look, you know, Blackman right now is sitting at 4-0. They didn't play last night, but the first time through, they really didn't have a close game. They kind of were the cream of the crop of the district, and so, you know, we get them on Tuesday. We'll fire a shot against them and try to find a way to win that game at home. You know, and Oakland was struggling through district play at first, but you know one of the things that they are is they're a very dangerous team. They're a very good team, and so, and then you look at us, Siegel and Rockville, first time through, we were all tied at 2-2. You know, we had all split with each other, so it's one of those things that as the district season goes on and as time goes on, it's, you know, it's going to play out, and it's going to be an interesting district race going down to the wire. Coach, I know earlier in the year you had some challenges with injury and waiting on football players and that kind of stuff. Talk about how your team has grown so that, I mean, you are in a really pretty good position when you're thinking about 2-2 and your destiny is in your own hands as far as district is concerned. No, we're fine with where we're at. We've got to learn what we've done. What we did was,
the first part of the year we played everybody on the schedule that we could get. That was a tough team. Like you look, we played a top 10 schedule in the state to prepare us for this. Struggled with it at first, and as we grew and matured, because we only had, that first game that we went and played, we had one guy that had played any varsity minutes when we went down to Lawrence County. Nobody else had taken a snap. And so as we went on, the more we got experience, the better off we've gotten, the more plays guys have made, and they figured out how to win well. And now what we've got to figure out is how do we handle the little bit of success that we've had here recently. It's one of those things when you struggle for so long and things got to start clicking and you find ways to win games. Well, now you got to continue to do those little things right. And again, we talk about having a young team. Like that's one of the pieces of maturing, is figuring out not only how you handle not having success, because we handled that fairly well. Now it's how are we going to handle having a little bit of success, and that's where we're going to have to grow up a little bit and learn how to just mature with it and learn how to handle it.
Coach, that's all part of growing young men, is it not?
It is. I mean, and it's one of those things when you look and every night you look up, like, it's just the way it is. We're going to be younger than whoever it is that we're playing. Well, that we can't control. That part doesn't matter. That just is what it is. It's learning how to make these runs, learning how to handle some of that adversity, and again, learning how to handle some of the successes that we've had here recently. Like, it's just trying to teach them how to be successful in a sport that is hard to play. And hard to be successful in. There's not very many people that go out and are successful in this sport because it is a difficult sport to play, but it's one of the greatest things to play. And when everything starts to click, it's really fun to watch.
Absolutely right, Coach. Let's talk a little bit about offense. Talk about what you got going on offensively and how you feel like you've grown offensively as a team.
Well, we've grown because we've learned to an extent what it takes to put the ball in the basket. Again, when you're talking about having young guys, like we've got a set of twins, Ryan and Evan Wilkerson, who are talented. They're about 6'1" sophomores. They're very long, but again, they've never really played at this level. Well, one of the things that Evan and Ryan have started to learn how to do over the course of this season is, at first when they were driving, they weren't going in with what I call a lot of authority. They were trying to kind of finesse it off the glass and avoid contact. Well, now they've started to embrace it a little bit and use their bodies a little bit better. They absorb the contact and they're finishing a little bit better. Evan made 2 threes last night. Ryan did not play last night. We sat him trying to make sure we get him healthy for the stretch run. But it's one of those things where as you look over the course of a season, 2 guys like that again had no varsity minutes really coming into it. They have grown so much over the last 3 months. And have gotten better, and that's one of the things when you look in their sophomores. We've got 5 sophomores on the floor fairly consistently, or 4 sophomores and a junior. Like, things are going to be really good for us here in the future.
And that's exciting, Coach. How about defensively? Obviously, I know your background coaching-wise, you've always been a guy that prides yourself on team defense. Talk about the defense that you got going on right now.
Well, that's why we've had a chance to win some of the games we have recently. It is not because of our scoring. Again, you go back and you look at the beginning of the year, we're averaging giving up almost 70 points a game because, again, we weren't physically ready to guard from a maturity standpoint, but not only that, like we were always a step slow. We weren't reacting quite as quick as what you would want to. Well, a lot of that is just the speed of the game and learning again how to play. And one of the things that our guys have done is, as the years gone on, they've done a better job of supporting each other in gaps. They've done a better job of being in help side where they're supposed to be. They've done a better job of just one-on-one, keeping the basketball in front of them. And so it has led to us, we were averaging giving up, like I said, close to 70 points a game, to where now for the most part, and we've had a couple of overtime games that have messed up our average a little bit, but for the most part, we're averaging giving up about 50 points a game here over the last 3 or 4 weeks, since the new year. And again, that's one of the reasons why we've been able to finish off games. You know, we have won the rebounding battle. I don't have the stats in front of me from last night, but we have won the rebounding battle, which we were not doing early in the year. We were kind of getting beat on the glass fairly consistently. Well, the last couple of weeks, we've started to win the glass with every game except the Blackman game, where we just got absolutely destroyed in that game on the glass. And again, it's because we have learned how to be more physical. We've gotten more mature, and that has helped us tremendously with our growth and with our rebounding, with our defense.
Rebounding and defense, that's about work. I mean, yeah, that's about work. You got to have great work ethic, and is that something obviously you're instilling in these kids?
We're trying to, and it's one of those things where when you look, it's again, at some point you just got to grow up, and that's where we've talked over the last week. We've had 2 bus rides that were really and truthfully, when you look, they were very different, because I didn't think mentally we didn't do a good job of being mentally ready to go Tuesday night at Rockville. We weren't focused. You can just tell how your team is sometimes, and we weren't really focused. We were a little bit too loose. Well, last night I thought we were fine, but we didn't come out of the gate well. And again, it's just one of those things that as you grow and mature, you kind of learn how to handle those things. We've got some guys that what we talk about a little bit right now is I want them to see success in their mind before we actually have it on the floor. Like you got to see some positive things happening for you. You got to visualize it before it actually happens for you. And that's one of those things when you're talking about teenagers and you're talking about today's generation. Like they're my guys, I love them to death. They're great kids. They're silly. They're funny. They do a lot of good things, but at the same time, like, you've got to teach them how important that mental aspect is and how important it is to have your head to have your head ready to go to play these games. You can't just show up and play, and that's one of the things with a young team. Again, sometimes you struggle with at times.
So Tuesday night, you say Blackman, Barry Workman. I know y'all are good buddies. Is that always a little bit of a special game for you, just because of your close friendship with Coach Workman?
Well, I mean, everybody, most people know. Everybody in the coaching world knows. Like, I came up under Barry. Like, my first job out of college was working with Wirt at Laverne, and we had a lot of success there. Kind of building that. I think I came in year 3 with him, and we had a good little run there. And then obviously we worked together again under Blackman, and everybody knows 4 straight state tournaments when I left, and obviously he's had a lot of success there. And it's always a good time, and I love Wirt to death, but he knows, and I know, like, we're going to try to beat each other's brains in on Tuesday night, and that's just part of the way that it goes. That's the one thing about our league. Like, you look, all the guys, coaches in our league get along extremely well. Like, there's not a lot of fighting. We may get pissed off at each other every once in a while, but it's one of those things where we've got a bunch of good guys in the league, and we're all friends. But yeah, it's a little bit different when it's a guy that you work for, because he's trying to put me out of business. I'm trying to put him out of business that night, and it's one of those things where we're going to have a pretty good battle, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm sure it's going to be highly entertaining. Coach Voss, we certainly appreciate your time, and we do appreciate what you're doing over there at Riverdale High School, because we know you're doing the right things. Coach Michael Voss, Riverdale, will be back in just a moment with Smyrna's Omar Smith. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Kyle Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard.
Murfreesboro is conducting a special census, and we need your help. Why? Because our population has grown since 2020, and more people means more funding for our community. $175 per resident per year. This is Mayor Shane McFarland. Please fill out the secure online form at murfreesborocensus.com or complete the mailed form. List everyone living in your home. It's that simple. The special census helps us plan for growth and better services.
Count me in.
Hey, count me in.
And count me in too.
Participate today, and you could even win a $100 gift card.
At Middle Tennessee Electric,
We see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Blue Raiders fans' source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees, located at 910 Ridgely Road, behind Chewy's, just off Broad Street.
Time to get out in the cold in style with officially licensed Middle Tennessee stocking caps, coats, jackets, sweats, scarves, and more. If it's blue and white with the Middle Tennessee logo, you can bet the best selection in town is at Raider Tees.
Raider Tees by Ideas Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, off Broad between Chewy's and Chili's.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete. Danny Brewer here. You know, I'm finding a fish in the sea right now because I got Omar Smith, head basketball coach of Smyrna High School, here with me. Coach, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know, let's talk a little bit about the week that was, rivalry week for Smyrna. You had Stewart's Creek at home. You had Laverne at home. I want to talk for a moment about the atmosphere, especially last night. The Laverne game, I mean, lots and lots and lots of people there. It was Legends Night. It was really, really a good night from the standpoint of the atmosphere. Great high school basketball, I mean.
Yeah. So, you know, it's one of those things. I tell people, you know, I grew up in Chattanooga, so I grew up going to Brainerd Howard games, and they would have the games at the UTC Arena, and the whole city was there. And so last night reminded me so much of that. And that, you know, I told the guys in the locker room, this is what we play for this. These are the type of games you want to be a part of, and you know, legends are made in these types of games. So, you know, go make your mark.
Absolutely right. You know, and when you think about the game, the roller coaster ride that it was, you know, back and forth, both teams getting dunks, crowd going crazy. I mean, like, it was really very special. From that aspect, I know it didn't wind up the way you wanted, but very special from that aspect.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things I can't watch film after the games the night of because I'm still, you know, in coach mode. So I have to just go to bed and wake up and watch it the next day. But you know, that atmosphere is awesome, and you know, having watched the film this morning for a little bit and just looking at how our guys played, like I think they rose to the occasion, and you know, I think they understand what that meant to play in that type of game. I think it's going to help us going forward.
Well, I think it has to, because when the crunch time, you know, you had a chance, you had your chances. There's no doubt about that. But when you think about all the things that goes into knowing how to win, is that something that, you know, you want to, you know, instill in your players, is understanding how to win games like that?
I think, yes, absolutely. You think about, of course, playing hard is that number one skill that every kid needs to have, and they don't all have it. And then, of course, being coachable and then, you know, implementing a game plan and the scout into the game. So I think last night we got the effort piece down, and I think even the getting the game plan and the scout into the game as well. Now we get that third piece of just being coachable, especially in the heat of the moment. I think some guys struggle with that because you don't want to. It's hard to get chewed out by the coach, and you know, in front of 1,500 people. You know, it's part of it. But just understanding, you know, okay, I messed up, let me fix it, and going on. So you get that third piece down, and I think they'll take off.
Because the effort was there, there's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Because and I know the juices may have been flowing a little bit more because of it being Laverne, and they're undefeated in the region, and they're top dogs right now and all that stuff. But so effort absolutely there. As far as I think you had 3 guys in double figures. That was a good thing too, right?
Yes, and that's kind of been par for the course for us. You know, young Kinzer most nights are going to get about 15, 16 points, and Caden Matthews will get about 10, and then sometimes both, or either one of the McCarver brothers is going to get in double figures. And so that's, like I said, it's pretty normal for us to have that. When we're a high-scoring team, so we're going to get guys that are going to score, and just getting them to understand that now you can play defense, and it's going to make a difference.
McCarver, the young McCarver Zakis, I know there was one instance last night where it was kind of a loose ball, and his athleticism is just off the charts.
Yes, he's very quick. He's athletic, really fast, and he just gets after it. I was telling my wife and my brother-in-law last night, I think over the last 5 games he sat for 1 minute, and that was because we were the Stewart's Creek game, we were down, and I emptied the bench at the last minute. Other than that, he hadn't come off the floor in the last 5 games because, he just brings so much to the table, especially athletically.
Right, yeah, and his ball handling, and the little kid can shoot, too.
He can. Especially great mid-range jump shot, which a lot of kids don't have these days. Everybody wants to shoot the 3, and he'll shoot it a little bit too much sometimes, but he'll get to the hole, and he'll get, to the middle of the paint, and he'll shoot a pull-up jump shot. And I tell him that makes a big difference because, being 5'8", you can't always go in there with the trees, but if you can stop and pull up, that's a lost art that many people don't know how to stop.
Oh, absolutely right. Because if you get the defender on his heels, then it's easy to pull up, and then you can get your shot off.
Right, absolutely.
So, Coach, let's talk about what we got coming up. You're really in a pretty good position as far as you have your destiny in your hands still, district-wise.
Yeah, probably not going to catch Laverne unless they completely fall off the cliff, and I don't think that's going to happen. We're looking at trying to get to that 3 seed. Possibly the 2, but Stewart's Creek's playing very well right now as well. So if we can get to that 3 seed, I think that would be just big for our confidence as a team, as a program. We've got Lebanon coming up on Tuesday. We go there, so get a chance to play at their place and get a feel for it because they're hosting the tournament. So that'd be good for us. We'll go out to district play Thursday against Knowledge Academy for senior night, and then we host Wilson Central for our last home game on Friday.
Okay, so wow. Last home game, man. It's kind of you blink your eyes and here we are, right?
It's quick. It comes. You look at the schedule at the beginning of the year, like, God, it's a lot of games, and then they just come in bunches. Especially in December, you play a lot of games, and so then you get in the district play, and it's twice a week, and it just flies by. And it's probably been a good thing we hadn't really had a lot of snow, so we hadn't had to deal with cancellations either.
Right, exactly, and that helps out because that can be nightmarish for a coach when you're trying to fit all these games in.
Absolutely, we get to school and all the teachers are watching the snow forecast and they're praying for snow. I'm like, please don't snow. I don't want to have to reschedule a game and figure out how to get guys to practice and all that. So, kind of avoiding that this year has been good.
So when we think about what's on the floor, a lot of times for you, it's 3 juniors, I think, a sophomore and a senior. So you've got 4 kids that start. I believe 4 of your starters, kids who should be back next year?
Yes. Yeah, we only start 1 senior, and we play 2 other seniors. But other than that, it's juniors and sophomores on the floor most of the time. I think at one point I looked up and we didn't have a single senior on the floor. I think I took Tyreek out for a little bit. We had 5 sophomores and juniors on the floor and just went with it.
So as far as growing those young men, and we talked about knowing how to win and understanding how to win, all that kind of stuff. The basketball IQ, that's obviously something that's a constant work in progress.
It is. I think again, you think about Laverne. I was counting this morning, looking at film. I think they have 5 guys on their team that either dressed or played in the state tournament last year. Whereas we got guys who are starting who weren't even touching the floor last year. So. Just getting those guys to figure out what we're doing. Like I said, the basketball IQ piece of it and, how things work and being able to make decisions on the fly with the speed of the game. And we're getting there.
Right, and the speed of the game is something, especially when you play a team like Laverne. So when we rewind a little bit about, last night's game and you talk about confidence, it has to be a good builder for knowing, hey, we can play with these guys. We can really play with anybody.
Right. And it's one of the things, I let them have it after the game, but I'll reach out to everybody today and let them understand you're 4 points away from being in second place. And 2 of the teams in your district played in the state tournament last year. So, you're there. You're there. Just kick that door down and let's get in there and join the party with everybody else.
Right. And so when we talk about the district tournament that's coming up, and I know that'll be in a few weeks, but it could be really, really fun.
It could be. I think it's going to be very competitive. Like I said, there's a good chance we could be playing Lebanon on their home floor. And, you know, like I said, it'd be my third time doing that since I've been here playing the team on their home floor in the first round of the district. But at the end of the day, it's still basketball. You know, it's 94-foot court, 10-foot rims, 10 people on the floor, 3 refs. So it's not anything that's going to change. So just understanding, though, that intensity of district tournament play. So, like, we're figuring out district play intensity and then understanding, okay, district tournament is even another level of intensity. And I think we're going to really push on that for the next couple of weeks.
Coach, the leadership that you have on the bench, talk a little bit about that. And because a coach can do what a coach can do, but at the end of the day, you need players to help out with that leadership.
You know, absolutely. And they're figuring it out. Is one of the things we've been very, very big on film study here the last week or so, and just getting them to understand, like, this is what is going on. We're showing you what's going to happen, you know, getting a scout into the game. And, you know, like I said before, everybody knows what everybody's doing. It's just getting guys to understand, okay, this is what's about to happen in this instance, and, you know, understanding what the coaches are telling them and putting it into play.
So sometimes it's good to have a memory, and sometimes it's good to have a short memory, right?
Absolutely.
Because you want to know what the guy's doing, but you can't dwell on the things that you didn't necessarily do right. You just got to learn from those mistakes.
Next play, my assistant, Coach Nelson, he sent the message to the kids after the game last night. He said, next play. And he sent it the last couple games. Next play, we move on. It's over with. It's done. We can't cry about it. Just get ready for the next one.
Well, you learn from you have to learn.
Yeah,
you learn from it and move on, because that's life.
Yeah, and you know, every day is a new day, and you know, like I said, you can't dwell on it and whine and cry about it. It's not going to change. So let's get ready for the next one.
There you go. Well, that's Omar Smith. He's got them rolling down there in Bulldog Country. Destiny's in their own hands. So, Coach, we appreciate your time. We certainly wish you the best of luck. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue ribs and many local favorites on Warrior Drive. Locally operated by Anne-Marie Brents and the Lanning family.
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carryout or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Stickers, labels, we do a lot of direct mail, booklets, manuals, programs. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks here at Murfreesboro. We are at 2227 South Park Drive. Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer. We offer everything from business cards to brochures, booklets to banners, everything in between. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, talking with Anne Marie Brents.
When people walk in and they're like, tell me what's good, I usually tell them the loaded baked potato, which is a fully loaded potato with the butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon, and chives, and then we put meat on top of it.
At Rick's, they use the largest potatoes you can find.
Every Tuesday we run a special on the loaded potatoes. We call it Tater Tuesday, and we sell a lot of potatoes.
Barbecue, smoked chicken, ribs, they've got it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, and online at ricksbbq.com.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wommel. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose. You'd do anything to protect your kids. I'm State Farm agent Celeste Middleton, and it's important to protect them with life insurance. I can make it easy and affordable for you to protect your family.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee.
At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, we show up and have been for 150 years. Let us show you how we do it. I'm John Dietrich, Senior Vice President, Commercial Lender at the Murfreesboro Gateway office. Let me have the honor of helping you and your family achieve its financial dreams. I am a lifelong resident of this community dedicated to making it better.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the Murfreesboro Special Census. Counting everyone means more state dollars to improve roads, parks, and services. Fill out the fast, easy, and secure form at murfreesborocensus.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm better than a buttermilk biscuit. I got Barry Wortman here. I mean, I don't know if it could get much better than this. Coach Wortman, I know that today in the Wortman family is a very special day. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Lincoln Wortman, 5 years old today, my grandson. So big party day for us. He's a sweet young man, but he's also got a little edge to him. So we always say he's got a little Scott Skiles, a little Steve Largent in him. So we think we got a wide receiver and a point guard, maybe even a Lenny Dykstra. So we're excited about little Lincoln's birthday today.
Yeah, Lenny Dykstra, nails they called him.
That's right. He's and Lincoln's tough as nails.
And now, so wait a minute, a Wortman that's got a little bit of an edge. Are you?
Hey,
imagine that.
He got a little Wortman blood in him.
All right, Coach. Well, let's talk a little bit about Blackman basketball. That's what we're here for. Tell me a little bit about the week that was. I think you guys didn't play last night, but you played Tuesday. So tell me what happened.
Yeah, I really like where we are. Our team is playing, good basketball. Siegel's a talented team with a rim protector, a great score, and some really good guard play around them, and rebound it well. So they bring a lot of things to the floor that it makes it a tough on you, and they're playing at their place. And I just did. We were very workmanlike in our approach. I thought we were, we wanted to be really good in transition defense, and I thought that was a staple of our team and our game. And got back and was able to set our defense, and when we can do that, we can make it pretty hard on people. And I thought our team collectively did a nice job and finished possessions with rebounds and won a rebound margin, 17-20 inside the paint. Everybody played at a nice high standard, and I thought that was finished this 4-0 with first time through the league, and with a bye last night, got to gear up and go the second time through. Yeah, Coach. So let's talk a little bit about Siegel, because they've got a really, really good basketball player. I mean, they're a good team. They're very well coached. So going out and getting them on your home floor, it got to be good for you guys as far as just momentum and all that kind of stuff. It is. This time of year, we really want to be trying to play at our best basketball, and I think we are. I thought, I know we're talking about the game. Yesterday's practice, we went at it really, really well, and our team had great spirit, and that's hard to do this time of year, especially when we don't play on a Friday night. So I was really excited about back-to-back practice we had going into a little bit of a game without a Friday without a game, and I just like where our team is. Our team's playing with spirit and joy. All the things that you want a team to be about, we're starting to play to our strengths, hide our weaknesses. Guys sort of know who they are and who they're not. We're together picking each other up, and again, I just think we're trying to make sure we're the best version of ourselves, and we have a little theme we're trying to say is as good as the enemy of great, and we're trying to chase greatness, and I think this team is in a really good place in terms of trying to play our best basketball.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the inside game, because that is one of your strengths. Christian Johnson is a kid that really understands post play, I feel like, which is not, you don't see that a lot these days.
Well, you're right. We play inside out and outside in. I think the reason that we're really good in our half court offense, whether it's man or zone, is because we do have nice pieces that fit each other in that regard. But to our back to the basket play, those guys could all face the basket. All three of our guys in a rotation, so Keller, Christian, and Jalen can all face the basket and pass and feed high to low, and they're all really good at sprint, chase, ball screens, and rolls. But when in things to make things work, you do have to have a good idea. And Christian in particular, you brought that up. He's got great hands. He catches it deep. He understands he needs to be the second off the floor and get angles. Where he's really improved, if he can't get guys off the floor, get angles to score around the goal, he's become much better at understanding that and not taking a tough shot, but he's playing out, or what we call dribble outs and fumble outs, where he's handing the ball out, and that's really impacted our game and made our guards better and him better. So excited to see his growth as an offensive player in our system.
You mentioned high-low, the old high-low game. That used to be a staple of offensive theories. John Wooden, Denny Crum, those guys. Is the high-low something that you don't see a whole lot these days?
Well, it fits our personnel. A lot of people are still playing high-low. They're just going maybe point guard to a big or point guard to wing, and for a while there we played with what we called sixes. We didn't care what position you played. We wanted you to be a six. I think all the great basketball players are positionless. But, we got some unique guys and fits their skill set. And, I watched Kansas and Iowa State the other night, and, the Kansas high-low. Obviously, people here in Murfreesboro know Coach Davis played high-low here for years, and it suits our personnel, and it really suits. Everybody thinks it suits our bigs. I tell you, it really suits is our guards, because they get a lot of play out of our high-low, and we're getting ready to chase ball screens better out of it now. So. Yeah, we've been more efficient, and it's opened up some things and empty the post for opportunities to get drives and post catches for our bigs, and opportunities for our perimeter guys to score it. And we love to play against zones, and we become so much more efficient, man, that people are having a little more trouble zoning us. When you think about your outside game, you've got some rhythm shooters. Does the high-low game, you think, suit those rhythm shooters very good? Well, I think we always say the easiest shot in basketball is the breakaway layup. The second shot is the step-in rhythm three. I mean, you don't have to be a great scorer. You don't even have to be a great player. But offensively, if you can step in and shoot rhythm threes, we call driveway threes. Those is probably the easiest shot. And when if you get guys that can draw double teams and get guys that can drive the ball and make people help, and then you can step into those rhythm threes. That's an easy shot. We got guys that can make them. Everybody has guys that can make them, and we really do, and we think that complements what we try to do offensively. Coach, we've talked a lot about offense. How about defense? Because, defense is what has been the staple of all of those great Blackman runs to the state tournament has been defense. Talk a little bit about your defense. Well, I'm really pleased. We're not quite as fast as we've been in the past. So our whole deal, is you can't guard a turnover. You can't guard a turnover, so we're taking better care of the ball. And so we're really able to set our defense, and I think we've gotten really good in transition defense. That's something that's on our practice plan every day, and Coach Bell has the guys that have the floor balance in the back. Coach Phillips has the guys that are getting to the junctions, and I sort of have the ball stopper, and it's five guys playing as one defensively and really sprinting. And sometimes you have to guard a mismatch until you can get an emergency switch or a convenient switch. But being able to, you talk about all the great offensive play that guys do. A lot of it is in the broken floor, and we try to limit broken floor plays, and we've done a really nice job with this team, especially the past two months, getting better at that, and I think that's improved our team.
So, Coach, let's talk about what you got coming up Tuesday night. I think do you host Riverdale Tuesday night?
Tuesday night we go to Riverdale.
At Riverdale, okay. And then what about Friday? Where are you at Friday?
Let's see, boy, man, I'm so locked in. See, we go Oakland at home, Rockville on the road, and finish up with Siegel as our to finish up league play in our second time through.
So exciting when you talk about going to Riverdale. Your good buddy but arch rival Mike Voss. Talk about how special those games are with Voss.
Well, league games are fun. Our guys are always excited that you have better crowds. The kids know each other. So district games, league games are always fun. And we have a ton of respect for Riverdale. First of all, they're fast and athletic and can put a lot of pressure on you. And our guys are aware of that. So we got a lot of respect for him. And then the big thing is, Coach Voss has always done such a good job of getting his team to play well down the stretch. He had he's had challenges with injuries and challenges with youth and challenges with guys coming in, that play a fall sport. So he's really meshed his team the last couple of years. I thought played really well down the stretch, and we have a keen awareness that they're playing their best basketball right now.
I think you're right. They're a team that's on the come, and so you always have to be cognizant of the improvement and continue to improve yourself, right?
Yeah, and I think it's just human nature to not always be on edge every time you play. It's something where we've tried to do, and with that, you got to be, if you really want to win titles and win district championships, you can't win one Friday night, but you can lose one Friday night. And that's sort of the thing we've told our guys is there's nothing more enjoyable than a road win, especially when 3 miles apart from your rival against a team that's just playing well. So we'll be on razor's edge. I really believe that about our team.
Well, you mentioned district play and how more exciting that is. Special because of the closest of the schools.
Yeah, our guys just know each other, and there's been a great girls basketball rivalry at Blackman. It's been a really nice boys basketball rivalry at Blackman, and just there's always been a great turnout in that game, and both teams play with go at each other really hard. So it's a fun game.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about horse racing because we both love the sport. Okay, so today is the Holy Bull, Grade 3 race down at Gulfstream Park, preparation for the Kentucky Derby. We got points on the line here. There's a horse that I think absolutely relates to Blackman basketball right now, Guns Loaded. Son of Gun Runner, won 2 out of 3 lifetime, trained by Jose D'Angelo, 5-2 on the morning line. How does Guns Loaded relate to Blackman basketball right now?
Well, I hope we do have our guns loaded. We're sort of like Guns Loaded's. We're sort of like Guns Loaded in regards that we only play 23 regular season games. Every game has a purpose. We try to play with a lot of purpose, and our guns will have to be loaded down the stretch to win 6 or 7 games in a row in advance, like we hope to do.
Now, Coach, I think you're absolutely right there. And there's another horse here that it relates to Barry Wortman when it comes to basketball. He's not joking. Ridden by Johnny Velasquez today. Josie Carroll trains 15-1 on the morning line. He's not joking. That's Barry Wortman, Blackman basketball. You got it going on, Coach.
Well, we're excited about some things we can do down the stretch. So looking forward to this week.
Coach, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business.
Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door and hope you find the customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed Supply caters to all homeowners with a quarter acre to several acres, focusing on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
And yes, you can even get milk from the MTSU dairy at Las Casas Feed Supply, the best milk in town. Las Casas Feed on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We are back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at mte.com. Coach Tony Rutland joins us this morning, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, and made it through another Smyrna battle last night.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize how big, the Laverne-Smyrna battle is. I just trying to get my guys to focus on that. I think they came out because they were at home really intense, and we were just laid back. And Smyrna's a great team. I told my guys that, they have been in so many games, and last night they played, I would say, a complete four-quarter game. And I think, guys like Landon, Sherman, and TJ Tarsky-Jones stepped up because they've been in those situations, and that's why we played the schedules that we played in early on, because district play is never going to be easy. So the tough games, if we can battle out tough road games, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, you hear in rival games, you throw the record out the window, and there's so much truth to that. But it's amazing how, you go from generation to generation, and it's that rivalry is kind of baked in.
It is. Some teachers who went to Smyrna, or some teachers, at Smyrna. I don't know if they have teachers that went to Laverne, but they tell me about it, and I understand it, and it goes back. Like Wake Forest and Duke and Carolina. Mm-hmm. They're always rivalry games, and any team can beat anybody. You could be the bottom of the barrel and play the first place team, but it's just that rivalry game, and they're going to play their best.
Well, it's not only a rival game, but it's a district game. If it's 1 point, 10 points, 20 points, doesn't matter. It's still on the win side for you guys. 57-56 last night.
Definitely, and I'll take it. We didn't shoot the ball as well as we normally have, and again, credit to Smyrna and their game plan. Our first half we played fairly well. We had guys that step up and knock down some baskets, and then the second half we had again Tarsky Jones come in, and he's just getting off an injury, so we just been able to have him back for last couple of games, and he's stepped up and give us good minutes, and to have him there as a veteran guy, and only a junior, but he's been through the struggles, and he was able to finish and knock down free throws.
Well, when you put guys in situations, sometimes you've got a November crowd. It's a lot different than a January, February crowd too, and you get student involvement, and everybody's pumped up, fired up, gym's full. It's a different animal, really.
It was a great crowd. again, Smyrna did an excellent job feeding into their crowd. Their crowd gave them a lot of boost and momentum after every made baskets. And, again, Smyrna fed off of it. I guarantee if they had a crowd like that every game, they would play intense like that for 4 quarters. Hopefully we can do the same. I think we had a good crowd against Stewart's Creek. So, we have a couple of more home games before the district tournament. So, but we do have, some tough road games. And, again, playing on the road in the beginning of the year helps us for tough district games on the road.
Well, win last night, and just listen to some of these scores. 52-48 win over Lebanon on Tuesday, and then 74-52 over Stewart's Creek the Friday before, and then 55-54 win over Cookeville. This is an interesting district race this year.
It is. One thing I'm trying to get into my guys is about finishing games. A lot of times they look at their scoreboard watching and they start not focusing and start doing things that is not part of the game plan. And I think once we start focusing and start, trying to put teams away in the fourth quarter, I think the score will show. But when we give other teams the opportunity to score, we turn the ball over, live ball turnovers, the momentum changes. And, the game is full of runs. And, if we can't stop our run, the other team's runs with either baskets or free throws, then, the momentum have shifted and now we're in a battle. But last night was a little different. I didn't call timeout because I needed our guys to really understand that we have to focus and we have to beat games. I remember Coach Odom at Wake Forest used to call timeouts and tell us, hey, you got yourself in this mess, get yourself out of it. And that's what it was last night. And I think they stepped up to the occasion. We'll take the win, but we got a lot of work to do because everybody is gunning for us, but they don't get it. If they're not, I'm not saying that Laverne is not used to like winning and being on top, but some of the guys have never been in this situation. And if you've never been in that situation, it's hard to coach because knowing how to win and being a winner is tough. If you're used to giving up games and being okay with losing, then they're okay with it. And we're not, but hey, a win is a win, whether it's 1 point, 2 points, I'll take it, but I'd rather have some cushion, though.
Sure. Who wouldn't, right?
Right.
We've got Laverne coach Tony Rutland joining us this morning. 6-0 in the district, I think. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The O part is good.
Yes,
that's kind of where you want to be. But the race this time in the district is just so wild. Stewart's Creek's second. They got a win over Cookeville last night, but it was a close game with you guys. And then Smyrna, you had a close game with Lebanon. Really up and down the whole district is it's a razor's edge right there, I guess.
It is. Again, the way Smyrna played last night, they can beat anybody in our district. Stewart's Creek has been on fire. They're playing really well. They got guys stepping up. You never know who's going to be the guy on their team. And you look at Cookeville, and they're a veteran team. They're going to give their guys the ball who is going to be able to make plays. And, again, it's always hard to win on the road. And you look at, Cookeville losing on the road, it's probably a hostile environment. Stewart's Creek, they bring a great crowd, and we have to go there. And then turn around Tuesday, we go to Cookeville. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring a crowd. So we have to travel, and we have to be able to win on the road. But we have two tough road games.
Yeah, the rest of the regular season here for you, at Cookeville, at Stewart's Creek next week, and then home games versus Wilson Central and Smyrna. So you get to do what you did last night all over again at your place.
Yeah, for sure. And, it'll be senior night, so – hopefully we'll be able to bring a crowd just like they did. But, me as a coach and a former player, I love the environment, and, hopefully the kids will cherish it and understand that, hey, if I played bad, what can I do to play better on the next game and capitalize on it?
Well, Landon has been landing for you. Bryant had 24 last night. He had 13 in the win over Lebanon, had 22 in your win over Stewart's Creek, and 31 in the win over Cookeville. So he's your man right now.
Yeah, and Cecil asked me last night, does he have a chance to be Mr. Basketball? And I said politically no, but technically yeah. I mean, he's probably one of the best all-around guards in the area, if not in the mid-state, maybe the state. I mean, he plays the 1, 2, 3. He could play 5. He guards the 5. He's become a leader for me. He's knocked down tough shots. Again, his stats have gone up since I moved him to point guard. And so when you have a guy like that that's willing to make that change within a year, I mean, he's become one of the best players. So me personally, yes, he's one of the top players in the state.
Was that a hard decision for you, for him? Did he take, moving to point guard? Sometimes there's,
No, it wasn't a hard decision for me because I had to do it my senior year.
Sure.
My senior year, Allen wasn't playing, and I had to go from 2 to 1. And so it was an easy transition for me to help him. And, he was willing because, again, I think for him to maybe get into college, it would give him more boost in recruiting. Sure. And so, I mean, it was an easy transition. He's taken it in. I mean, a couple of games here and there in the beginning, but, I mean, he's settled in, and he still has to trust his teammates. He wants to take it upon himself all the time, but, he wastes a lot of energy doing it. But, I mean, he plays the whole game, so he's good.
You can certainly feel that he has embraced that role and has succeeded in that role.
Yeah, and, again, I told him, like, you're a leader and the team follows. Like, you have to understand vocally and on the court, you have to be a leader, whether it's scoring or not. And I think Landon has done that this year. And, you go back to his sophomore year, he was district MVP of our district and the tournament, and then, first team and all-state last year. So he's improved every year.
Well, Coach, it's good talking with you, and I guess by the next time we'll kind of be down to the nitty-gritty next time we have you on here.
Yeah, we will, and hopefully I won't be stressed as much as I was last night, but I'm sure we'll take care of it.
Well, 2 important weeks coming up for all of our high school programs, as well here, of course, for the Laverne boys. Good luck, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Thank you.
That's Coach Tony Rutland joining us, talking Laverne boys basketball today on the Coach's Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get legal help when they need it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure that your goals are top of mind. While you can't control market volatility, we'll help focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency, where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza, with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. Talking Oakland Patriot basketball this morning. The head coach, Dyron Birdwell, joins us, boys coach, and we were just chatting during the break there before coming on. Man, you have been in some humdingers this year, and you know, single-digit differences in all of your district games.
Yeah, Rockville blew us out the first time. I thought we played bad, and then we lose to Siegel by 8. We lose to Blackman by 1. We lose to Riverdale by 4 in double overtime, and then last night we lose to Rockville by 5. And you know, it's frustrating. You know, I know it's frustrating for me. You know, just to be honest, I've not been a part of losing this much. It's frustrating for the kids, but at the end of the day, you just have to keep pushing forward and try to be playing your best basketball come, I guess, 2 weeks from Tuesday in that play-in game when the district tournament starts, and hopefully you can make a run from there.
Well, the thing about it is we've seen a team, well, Blackman just a few years ago, you know, they had up and down, you know, regular season, and then they just get blistering hot in the tournament, so you really never know. Yeah,
you know, Coach Green, who, you know, wore us out last Saturday, he's got a really good team. I saw their point guard had 10 points, 17 assists. He's like 5 assists away from the Oak Ridge all-time record, but talking to him, he's like, you know, Dyron, all these are scrimmages until the tournament anyway, and that's true. You know, sometimes it's not what you want to hear when you keep losing, and you know, I know the kids are tired of it, and it's cliche, and it's just aggravating. It's frustrating, but you know, that's kind of how you got to look at it. Is every day's a chance to get better, and you know, we'll go out this upcoming week and play, in my opinion, the 2 best teams in the league, and Siegel and Blackman on their home floor, and you know, go compete our tails off and try to find a way to get one on their floor.
Well, I was just thinking it's not going to get easier.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Now, you talked about, you know, close games. I know earlier in the year it felt like we had tied or had a lead in the second half of, like, gosh, I would say it's somewhere around 12 to 15 of our 21 games, you know, and just haven't found a way to pull them out. And you know, it shows how close how slim the margin for error is for us. You know, like last night we have 3 starters play really well and have 51 combined, but then we couldn't overcome our other 2 guys not playing great. And it's been, you know, different guys, different nights, and different games, and it, you know, we just hopefully at some point in time and in the near future got to put it all together. You know, we lose to Green Hill, who we've got coming up the last game of the year in double overtime back in, I think it was early December, late November, early December. And, you know, we just got to keep going, got to keep battling, and, you know, trying to find a way to get on the other side of that really slim margin we've got between losing and winning.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at your entire schedule and the scores that you've just, I mean, double overtime even.
Yeah, twice. To Riverdale last week on Friday, and then to Green Hill earlier in the year. And gosh, I'm trying to even think and go back through. It's been, a whirlwind, and it's frustrating when you go 0 for January, of course. And we just gotta keep coming to practice tomorrow, come to practice Monday, and be excited for the opportunity against Siegel on Tuesday, and try to find a way to slow down Webb. And Lyles wore us out the first time we played, and just try to find a way to compete and give ourselves a chance to win come fourth quarter, because that's kind of what we've done all year. We just haven't necessarily found the way to win come the fourth quarter.
Well, and Dyron Birdwell, the Oakland boys basketball coach, joining us this morning. Your schedule has not been friendly either, honestly. Yeah. I mean, you play Upperman, you play Oak Ridge, I mean, and then put on top of that district and a few region opponents.
Yeah. I think our league's a lot better than it was last year, just to be honest. I think a lot of those guys got a year older, a year better. We played a tough schedule. I think a lot of people look at Oakland High School and they think the football team that's been to the state title all these years, and they don't want to play, so we got to go find and play the best of the best. And Coach Thomas had to deal with that early, and he's got his girls playing well. He got a big win last night at Rockville, so it's just it's a battle. It's a grind, and here we are in February, and but like I said, I was proud of our effort. I told our guys after the game last night, I'm really proud of your effort, proud of how you compete and play. And, we just, the mental mistakes are the biggest ones right now. Last night was the first time in a while I felt like I didn't have to coach a ton of effort and attitude, but, execution. We're down 2. I'm screaming last shot. They say, yes, sir. They understand last shot. We take a shot with 25 seconds left. Rockville scores to go up 4. We turn it over on the inbounds. They go up 6 at half, and that's 4 huge points. We're tied at the end of the third.
All in the last 20 seconds right there.
Yeah, all in the last 20 seconds. Then we're tied at the end of the third, and we force a miss, can't get the rebound, and then they get an one right at the end of the quarter, and we go down 3, and it's like, those are, and then you go 14-24 from foul line, and when you add all that stuff up, it becomes the reason you lost, and so it's like you said, it's those little things that we've got to quit having our back-breaking mistakes, and some of that's on me as their coach, and some of that's on them as kids to go out there and play. And I know they're trying. I know they don't want to give up a rebound or make a mistake, but right now we are, and we just gotta keep working to correct those.
Well, you mentioned 4 things there that are easily correctable too, and so that has to give you hope and promise here in this next stretch here, and you've got 3 more district games?
We got Siegel Tuesday, Blackman Friday, and then we were supposed to play Mount Juliet in January, and the snow pushed it to they apparently couldn't get officials, so Monday we go to Mount Juliet, and then Tuesday we play Riverdale, and then Friday we play Green Hill. So we got 5 games coming up, and hopefully just find a way to get a few of those, and then be ready to play come district tournament, and then hopefully we are excited, and I think the guys are still competing. I haven't sensed a level of give up or anything. It's just hard, when you play so hard and you practice hard and you want to find a way to win a game, and I want to try to find a way to win a game for them, and right now we just haven't. So.
Yeah, well, you can learn a lot from Scott's girls team. They've battled in the district and have been right there, just like you guys are, and found a way to get that win on the road last night. So I mean, this thing is doable, and even if you've had a tough season, if things can start to go the other way, postseason, like you said, regular season is like scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's what you got to keep harping on with our guys. Of basketball's a tournament sport. It just is. even more so than some of the other ones in at the high school level. So we'll keep battling and go from there and try to find a way to win.
Dyron Birdwell with us, talking Oakland boys basketball. What's interesting is your top 2 leading scorers could be anybody. It's Bryant Haggard, Malcolm Ashley. It's Josh Wiley maybe.
Yeah.
If you put it all together. Yeah.
Sorry. Last night we have 3 guys at double figures. And 2 of them aren't averaging double figures for the year, but they're right around there. Lane Barron's averaging right at 6-ish points a game, but he loves playing Rockville. He's averaging 19 against them. He's had 20 and 18 against them. The issue is he had 10 against everybody else in the league. So we got to get that picked up for him. Come this next go around. Malcolm, I think I told him last week he has 21 and 16 against Riverdale, and he had 8 and 14 in the other 3 games. So I really, questioned him before the game last night to make sure he was ready to go, and he responds. He has 11 and 13. And Bryant, I love Bryant to death. There's times where he lets the space between his ears really affect him and how he plays. And I thought last night he handled himself really well and had 22. Didn't take a lot of bad shots. Kind of took what the game gave him, and competed. But then Cobb and Wiley don't play well. Well, we've also had games where, Josiah's had double figures against Rockville the first time and against Riverdale, but he hadn't in the other, 3 district games. Josh Wiley's not had double figures against Rockville either game, but he has in all the other 3. So it's like you said, we gotta get all those guys playing well together, or we've got to get bench production, and that's kind of our kryptonite right now. I think we've only had 1 game all year where we've had a guy score double digits off the bench, which means that puts a lot of pressure on your starters. As long as your starters are playing well, that's fine. But when you have a couple that struggle, or I'm not putting them in the position to be successful, or whatever it may be, you kind of come out on the losing end and you play a lot of close games that you just can't get over the hump on.
I bet your team is hard to come up with a defensive strategy against, because you don't know what it's not like when you play Siegel, you got to watch out 0.
Yeah, you got to guard way up. You got to guard little number 5 from Blackman that's now there. You got to guard Lyles. Lyles has ate us alive the last few games that we've played them. Like I said, it feels like he sees red, white, and blue, and he's like, awesome, here we go, I'll go score, which is, sad, kind of the way it's felt all year for a lot of our opponents, I feel like. But, we're going to keep battling, and hopefully, over the next 4-ish weeks, we start playing starting on Tuesday and moving forward, we play our best basketball, and we'll go from there. But excited, still trying to keep battling and getting them coached up, and we're going to keep scheming and trying to find ways to win and make it hard on these teams. But right now we're just a little bit short, and hopefully we can change that over the next little bit.
Well, a little road swing here for you, too. It started last night at Siegel, at Blackman, then the following week at Mount Juliet, before finally getting to come home on February the 11th.
Yep.
We plan to broadcast the Siegel game next week, so look forward to seeing your Patriots there. And Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning.
Appreciate y'all for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Dyron Birdwell, the boys coach at Oakland High School, joining us on the Coaches Show, brought to you by JHA Company. That's Josh Houston and Associates. Jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and so much more. JHAcompany.com online.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
Hurry up and try new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs. They're 4 fun-sized puffs packed with layers of pepperoni, cheese, and sauce, and only $3.99. So what are you waiting for? Try them now.
You heard him. We need to go try these new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs right now.
Stuff on it!
Hurry up and try new Little Caesars Crazy Puffs. They're 4 fun-sized puffs packed with layers of pepperoni, cheese, and sauce, and only $3.99. So what are you waiting for? Try them now.
Stuff on it! Drive like the wind, Debbie. Enjoy delicious new Crazy Puffs on the go for just $3.99. Only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Participating in Murfreesboro's special census could help bring more funding to our city. $175 per resident per year. Here's Murfreesboro Mayor Shane McFarland.
Those dollars shared with us will greatly benefit our community, build roads, maintain parks, improve public safety, and much more.
It's fast and easy. Complete the form online at murfreesborocensus.com.
Count me in.
Okay, count me in.
And count me in too.
Let's make sure every resident counts. Visit murfreesborocensus.com.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We're back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rick Hall with Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs. Find out more online, Rayburn.net. That's Rick Hall with Rayburn Insurance. It's time to talk about the Stewart's Creek Redhawks. And Adam Jones is the head coach there. Coach, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Doing well, doing well. We might as well call you the Red Hots because it's been you've been kind of on a streak here.
Well, yeah, we won 2 in a row. I mean, Laverne got us pretty good at third place, but we're still taking it one game at a time and week by week and seeing what we can do.
Well, when you play back to back, your biggest rivals, and then host the team that got to the state tournament and to the championship game, and they've become a district rival as well. Had a really good result with them last night.
Yeah, we played well. I mean, they were missing one of their better players who does a lot of good things for them. But I mean, even without him, they're still really good. And we kind of challenged the guys to, sit down. We got to figure out how to guard better. And last night they did a really, really good job of executing the game plan for sure.
We had the opportunity to see your team versus Smyrna on Tuesday night and had the broadcast. And, I was going to save this for later, but I'm just amazed at Micah Shaw's ability to do so many things for you on the basketball court.
Yeah, he's incredible. Obviously a senior, he rarely comes off the floor and does his role and accepts his role like no other kid. He had a great game last night, had 18 points, but usually he's not that. He's got 8-10 points around there. Always wants to have the most rebounds on the team, which is unbelievable for a high school kid. He's slightly vertically challenged.
Yes.
But for him to go in and want to get 8 to 10 rebounds a game, and I tell the other kids, we show them the stats, and some of our kids have 0 offensive rebounds, 1 defensive rebound. And we talk about Micah, who can hardly jump, and he's just there and there competing. And it's all effort. But he's such a stat filler, give you 8 points a night, 7 rebounds a night, 5 assists, 4 steals. He just enjoys playing, but really embodies his role very well. And he's our glue guy. That's why he hardly comes off the floor.
Yeah, you can tell that with him, and he can figure out what you need. Maybe one night it is, scoring double digits, and he fills that role. But he can sense what's going on in a game, and if you need a tough rebound, boy, he's going to give it his all to get it. And you mentioned maybe vertically challenged, but with effort, it makes him even bigger.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's all rebounding is effort. We have guys that are not vertically challenged on the team, and they struggle to get rebounds because it's pure effort. But with Micah, he just dials in and gets it done. And he slows us down at times of like in a good way. If we get 2, because we play fast, and there's times we don't need to play fast, but we still do. And Micah's kind of that guy to settle us down, all that sort of stuff, and just take accountability for it and being our team leader.
Well, let's talk a little bit about last night's win over Cookeville, 71-52. It's very important to win those home district games, and you look at Cookeville and what they've been able to produce over the last couple of years. And a guy like Micah, kids who've been there, seen that, they sometimes get in their mind, well, this is the opponent that got to the championship game last year, but they didn't let that affect them.
No, they didn't, and they were ready for the challenge. And we told the kids before. I mean, we only got 2 home games left, guaranteed for these seniors. And they came out and just fought. We've been in the district. We've been kind of home heavy. We're 4-0 at home and 1-1 on the road, and we got 3 of our last 4 on the road. So we still got a lot of work to do. But we put a game plan together because, like I said, Cookeville is still a problem. And we challenged Dez, one of our better offensive players and defensive players, with Davis, number 12, who's an unbelievable athlete and high school basketball player. We put a game plan together, and they met it, and they stuck with it, which I was very proud of. Because at times we don't play 4 quarters that often. We put a game plan together, and then, we do it well, and then they decide to do their own thing. We got to reel them back in and kind of switch our game plan on the fly. But last night they did it for pretty much, I would say, 3.5 quarters. So I was really proud of them.
We were talking with Adam Jones, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek boys basketball team. Right now, as you look at the district, District 8 is very competitive, top to bottom. I think a better league this year, top to bottom, and the same thing for your district. I mean, you look at a Lebanon team that maybe has struggled in district play, but gosh, that's a hard game, every game.
It is, and that's why, I mean, you go lay an egg, like we did against Laverne, you're going to get your butt beat, and you have to show up every single night. Like you said, top to bottom. I mean, yeah, Lebanon's win total isn't there, but, I mean, they're competing every night. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3 possession games. So, I mean, you go in there and screw up a little bit for a quarter and a half, you're going to struggle to win any games in this league. And that's what we're telling the kids. I mean, celebrate the one last night today. We'll be back to work tomorrow because we got 3 of our next 4 on the road. We're 1-1 on the road already. So, I mean, we got to dial in. We still got some work to do to get a little bit better.
Well, you played last night was 71-52 and 72-61 over Smyrna. And my point about that is you are beginning to score more per game, and that's always good to see this time of the year. I mean, 67 in the last 2 weeks was the lowest total, and so that's good to see.
Yeah, and like I've said it before, we're at our best when we're in transition, but transition comes from getting stops. And last night we were able to do that and just get up down the floor a little bit. Didn't have to press as much. Kind of we've that's kind of been our MO is pressing and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, you can't do that a ton against good teams. Eventually they're going to pick you apart. So we've challenged them to sit down to guard. We've got to guard and get stops and get up and down that way, which last night they did. But we'll still bring a sprinkle in presses every now and again.
Yeah. If it seems like your guys were very comfortable with the pace of the game on Tuesday night with Smyrna. How does this team handle when the opponent wants to slow the game down, be very methodical, like a Blackman you played earlier this year, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a struggle for us, but, I mean, we practice it, and they're okay with it. To reiterate, we just, if we're playing slower, that's even more of an incentive that we have to sit down and get stops, because every stop, every rebound, it's kind of hard to play slow. We're going to get it. We're going to go, and we're going to try to get something easy if we can. But they're getting better at it. Because like I've told them, like I just said, we can't press every game, the whole game. We have to be able to adjust and play different styles. Now we want most teams to kind of fall into how we want to play, but at times that's not possible. And especially if you're not guarding and teams are scoring on you, it's really hard to play fast, and then it slows us down. So we're trying to get better at that, and kind of every day in practice we work on it, and they're improving a little bit. They're understanding.
Well, right now sitting in second place in the district, and you still have to play Laverne, who is right now undefeated in district play, and that's a home game. You've got really where you want to be in postseason lies ahead of you.
Yeah, correct. And again, the one game at a time. We got Wilson Central on the road on Tuesday. Kind of like Lebanon, they've been ultra competitive in a bunch of games they've played. Mm-hmm. And then, senior night at home against Laverne Friday, and then next week we're at Lebanon, at Cookeville. So I mean, we gotta put a good game plan together each night and kind of just take it one game at a time and see where we are. We kind of control our own destiny, if you want to say that, but this league it's hard, so we gotta get chip away and get one at a time and see where we end up when it's all said and done.
Basketball season is a weird one because it seems like it's long, but in many aspects it's not, especially when, you turn the calendar in January. It's almost like two different kind of seasons. And once January gets here, you kind of those games just mean more, and you're right in the thick of that in these next 2 weeks. But that's the case for everybody. Every opponent, they've got the same mentality.
Yeah, right. And that's why we kind of put our pre-district schedule together the way we did, playing tons of state tournament teams from last year, just to get some good reps and play some good teams. Came out on top on some of them, and others we didn't. But like you said, once you hit district, it's 0-0, and it is a long season. But once district hits, it flies by.
It does.
2 games a week, Tuesday, Friday. You got your practice routines, all that. You blink, and before you know it's district tournament time. But I think our pre-district schedule helped us a ton, and we just got to continue going and continue fighting. And we're just preaching to the kids, we can't get complacent. Yes, we have some big wins here and there, but, take a day, enjoy it. We'll come back tomorrow, watch some film, and get ready for Wilson Central.
Well, that is the next opponent for the Red Hawks next week at Wilson Central, and then host Laverne, and then finish up on the road with 2. So I'm assuming probably that Laverne game is senior night. I think maybe you said that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that'll be our senior night on Friday.
Well, very good. Coach, appreciate you joining us this morning, and good luck. We'll talk in a few weeks.
Okay, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Coach Adam Jones joining us here on the Coaches Show, which is brought to you by Edward Jones, financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones, financial advisor Lee Colvin.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brents, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get two 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking, 212 Warrior Drive.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Show, and this segment brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. Time to talk about the Rockville Rockets. The head coach, Wendell Ingram, is here with us this morning. Coach Ingram, pretty good win for you last night against the Patriots.
Yes, sir. Tough team. I know they was hungry for a W. I know every game they've been playing here recently, they've been in them, and they scared us a whole lot when we was watching them on film. They're getting better and better every game, and you want to stay away from those type of teams when it's get time to tournament as much as possible.
Yeah, he was saying that it's been single digits, all of their losses here in the district, which is kind of a testament to this district. I really feel like from 1 to 5, everybody is better this year.
They are. You still got Blackman looking over the fence at everybody else, but it's how you start gelling in February when those pieces start getting put together in the right way. You want to make sure you're healthy. I know a lot of teams right now, after talking with a lot of coaches, you're shortening your practices now because you got a lot of illnesses going around. You try to stay away from the snow, but right now you got a lot of germs that's coming into the locker room that you got to also be careful on. That's what we ran into last night. We had, Amari Dewberry, who was out the last 2 days battling sickness, and he tried to come back last night, and you could tell he had a lot of issues with breathing, so we had to monitor his minutes, and you got to ask for other guys to step up.
I always find it interesting, all of the things that a coach has to manage. You're managing sickness, minutes, injuries, putting a game plan together, offense, defense. I mean, it's a lot with not a lot of time in, but it's not like football. You've got a whole week to prepare for one game.
It's tough. You play on a Tuesday night and you come back to school the next day and you start looking in the cafeteria for your athletes and you hear people come and say, hey, he's not here today, he's sick. Or, hey, he's not here, he's going to TOA because he got hurt last night. And you're like, man, well, let me scratch this name off. Let me do this. You change up a lot of your practices. And then on top of that, this week we had homecoming week. So you gotta put on that big smile and have school spirit, but deep down, hey, we got business to take care of as well.
Yeah. Well, this district, there's a 2-way tie for second, and the team that's in fourth right now, is only a game behind, and they've had some quality wins even over some of the teams above. So it's the wild, wild west here in District 8.
It is, but you know what? This is the fun part. You know, ours might well be called February Madness, where colleges has March Madness.
Yeah.
And man, it's gonna be tough. But I tell my team, for any team in our district to get the championship, they got to come through Rockville in more ways than one. We're gonna have it at Rockville. We're hopefully it's gonna start gelling here pretty soon. You know, we don't play on Tuesday night. That gives us a little bit more time to get healthy, rest a little bit more, and be ready for next Friday night.
Well, it's so interesting to look at it. Like, these next 2 weeks, somebody in the district could easily be the Rockville Rockets. Gets hot, and that's the momentum that carries them into the postseason, and that's maybe the horse that could have a chance to even get to the Murphy Center.
Man, I hope so. I don't keep no rabbit foot or nothing like that in my pocket because I'm scared of animals. But man, if I need to go get a fake one or something, I do it. I tell our boys all the time the story about Blackman, you know, finishing fifth.
It was 2 years
ago.
Yeah,
and they got hot at the right time, and they made it all the way to the Murphy Center. And so I tell them that story over and over. And our guys believe. We believe right now. And to play your first 3 district games on the road, and now you can breathe a little bit. You get your home crowd behind you. Last night our student section was outstanding. I mean, it was packed. Nice environment. You know, that's what we need. We need all of that right now. And, you know, we got Siegel next Friday, Blackman the following Tuesday, and then we go to Riverdale. Our goal right now is, you know, we need those wins. We need those wins to where we can sit in the driver's seat and take a deep breath. But like you said, whoever you play first round or second round, they can get you on those nights, because this district this year is up for grabs.
Well, last night you had four in double figures, which is that's good to have.
That is, you know. And that's what scares a lot of teams when I talk to them. You know, Coach Phillips over at Blackman, he's like, man, you got multiple kids in double digits, averaging double-digit points. And, you know, we went into that season with that mind frame. We never go into a season saying, okay, we need him to win this game or else. We need all 11 every night. And the crazy part about it is we dressed 11 last night and all 11 played, and the game was close. So I haven't changed anything on the way that we, you know, sub and do anything like that, because all 11 players are important right now. All 11.
You've scored 70 and 64 in this last week, and the pace of the game, the style of play, if you can dictate that, that's kind of you want to be up and down the floor, right?
Yes. So from the time we tip the ball, we have a hand signal that means, you know, turbo, let's go. We got to go. And that has a lot to do with what we did in August and September. We ran the track, we ran the bleachers. We're going to run, and we're at home now. So fans, they don't pay $7 to go out here and watch you bunny hop up and down the floor. They want to see excitement. And like I said, with us playing so many players, it falls back into our laps to where we can just get up and down the court. Now, it's going to be some times where we do need to say, hey, let's slow it down, and the guys doesn't know how to react to that because they're used to being able to go up and down the court. When we wasn't able to go up and down the court, we was scoring 40 and 50 points, and we was losing those games. So the first district game, we scored 83 against Oakland. We win. We scored 41 against Siegel, we lose. We scored 38 against Blackman, we lost. We scored, I think, 46 against Eagle when we lost. Now we scored 64 against Riverdale, we win. We scored 70 against Oakland, we win. So that's what we need to get back to. Scoring our points. Beginning of the season, we were scoring 60 and 70 and 80 points. Scored 101 against Clarksville. We have to play fast because we have the bench that can keep the rotation going.
Well, that was kind of my setup for the second part of that question. When you play teams like a Blackman, they definitely want to slow it down, and
they want to slow you down and be able to rely on their bigs to be able to to weigh you down a little bit. But we was a little shell shocked because they actually said when we played them, we can play fast as well, and it kind of backfired on us a little bit. So we're gonna make some adjustments and see what we can do, because Rockvale style, you know, our mascot is the Rockets. You know, the Rockets don't crawl. You know, they fly. So, I don't know, it sounds a little cheesy, but that's the only way I can put it.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it makes sense, and that's really when your guys seem most comfortable, and to be able to play at that speed and make good decisions is not an easy thing. I mean, you may have some teams that want to run and gun, but it's almost like the decision-making process leads to a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, and you got some teams that do want to run up and down with you, but most of the time, when it's time for them to make a substitution, they don't have that player that can come in there and keep it going. With us, when we go and sub, our next 5 can start somewhere else in this county if they really wanted to. And that's you know, hats off to our coaching staff, to our players that bought in and things like that. So, you know, it's just how we can keep this thing going. This is February 1st today. I felt like January was 7 weeks long.
Yeah.
So this is our month right here. We have to be able to come out here and make things happen and keep it going, because if not, man, I told myself I'm not going to go and watch nobody else play if we get eliminated. I promise you, I'll take up someone or go and get something. I'm not going to watch nobody else play.
Well, we don't want to see your product and so you better keep playing.
No.
Wendell Ingram is the head coach of the Rockville Rockets with us this morning. I enjoy watching your guys, but you do make it hard on the play-by-play guy, having to know 11 players and who's on the floor and all the subbing.
Yeah, and I tried to make sure I get the email in when we change the jersey number. We got some guys, man, that we're lifting weights, and they're getting the shoulders are getting bigger, and so they're growing out of their jerseys. And I was like, I better let WGNS know we got some changes. But we do sub a lot, and you know, and the guys are bought in. We got seniors that's saw their playing time go down a little bit because you got a sophomore that can play, and
that challenges them too.
It does, but because the first thing I tell them, make it hard for me to take you out the game. Make it hard for me. And Ty Newton is one that last night he came out there, shot 2 threes in a row to start the game. And, well, I made a mental note in my head. I can't take him out. So, you know, when I give that look to someone and know they're fixing to come out, and then Malachi Long goes out and hit 2 baskets back-to-back. You know, it's kind of like they watch me. Every time they make a mistake, they look at me in the sideline seeing what am I going to do. And, again, you determine how the flow of this game goes. I don't want you to play perfect, but you better play close to it.
Yeah. When you mention Ty, it seems like he has such clutch buckets for you.
Ty, and that's the good thing about it is if you allow him to get going, you got a long night ahead of you, because he's gonna make you pay.
Well, your schedule coming up. My phone closed on me there. You've got let's see, Siegel. No.
Yeah, we're off Tuesday. We got
off
Siegel.
Tuesday, then Siegel.
Siegel next Friday.
Siegel and Blackman at home Friday, Tuesday, and then the next Friday, Riverdale to wrap up the regular season. So I guess you're going to have a senior night in there and all that good stuff.
We had a senior night this past Tuesday against Riverdale, but I'm pretty sure we will be the senior night for Riverdale on their Friday night game. And I told our guys, I said, you know, these next 2 games are important, because you definitely don't want to go to Riverdale with a coin toss in place like we did last year. So you gotta get one of these. You have to get one of these. You will love to have both of them to where you can go into Riverdale that following Friday with some breathing room, but you got to get one of these games. And our guys, like I said, we're calling it a revenge tour right now. And these next two teams that we got on our schedule, they gave us our 2 losses, and we're gonna have to be ready to play.
Well, big week coming up here. Rockville Rockets. Coach, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
That's Wendell Ingram, the head coach of Rockville boys basketball on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family-owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air. Online, PrenticeAllsup.com.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card? Remodeling your kitchen? Whatever your dreams, they take planning. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack. Let's work together to come up with a plan to make those savings goals happen. Call me at 615-900-0877.
Your ride, your stuff. You live with them together. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves. It's smart to protect them together, to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-873-1700 and let me help you save by combining auto and renters.
Hi, I'm Lakin Gilman, a mortgage loan originator with First Mortgage, a department of First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. With competitive rates and personal service, let me turn your homeownership dreams into reality. Visit my website, lakinhibden.com, or come by my office at 322 North Front Street, located in downtown Murfreesboro, and let's get started.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And welcome back to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. John Dingan's here, and Matt Rigsby's our guest, the head coach of the Siegel Stars. Been an interesting week for you, Matt. In fact, we were at the game last night, and a really tough little Riverdale team that played you guys last night. And I think you were expecting it because they had beaten you earlier in the season.
Yeah, and great atmosphere, by the way.
No, it was rocking at Siegel.
The student section was fantastic, and kudos to our girls basketball program team and Coach Weekly. Man, that was a very long basketball game, but a great win by the Lady Stars. I tell you what, that was exciting. It really was. And, of course, again, Riverdale got us the first time at their place. And, I told our guys, I'm like, this isn't revenge. It wasn't Riverdale's. Don't be mad at Riverdale.
Right.
It wasn't their fault that they beat you. Okay. That's what they were supposed to do on their end. I said, this is kind of a redemption deal for you personally, because you kind of didn't do some things at their place that we had talked about, discussed, drilled that we should have. And I do feel like our guys took that to heart a little bit, especially jumping out on them 11-0 out of the gate. And but any district win's a great win, especially against a quality team like that.
You mentioned about the place rocking, and it was. I mean, in that girls' game, I don't think I've ever been in a girls' game, and I think a lot of them had come in for the boys' game. It was homecoming, and man, it's just like the perfect storm. They started chanting and going crazy, and in a girls' game, you don't get that a lot in girls' games, and to see the look on those girls' faces when they won that game, and because they've been struggling all year.
Struggle, let's be honest.
And you've been there. You've been through the wins and the losses, but it kind of carried over to the boys' game too. And you had a good night out of Lee. I thought he played really well defensively, particularly. Just kind of intimidated the inside, and they weren't able to do a whole lot.
Absolutely, he stepped up and played very well. I've not seen the numbers yet. Probably had 4 or 5 blocks.
Yeah.
And when he's not blocking shots in there, I mean, he's disrupting things. And but again, that was another thing. When we played Riverdale the first round, I mean, they got to the rim basically any possession they wanted to. And that was so frustrating. And again, credit them. They're so athletic. They're so great off the dribble. And so we really try to take that away and do a better job of gapping up and helping, supporting the basketball. And then here comes Will Knight hitting, 3-4 threes, number 2?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take everything away. You try.
Right.
But we did such a much better job on their dribble penetration.
Yeah, defense was good last night. And you started out with an 11-0 run, and things are looking great. And then you get a little cold snap, and then they get hot, and it makes it a game and a tight game all the rest of the way pretty much till the very end there.
Yeah, 11-0, then I think you blinked, and they went on a 9-0 run or something to that effect themselves. I mean, that's what good teams do. I mean, and again, the back and forth of it all, and then I guess if you think about it, after that 11-0 run, basically we played each other even.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game.
The homecoming king did his thing.
He was Carter Webb was the homecoming king.
Yeah, and he did a very nice job distributing the basketball. I think you guys were a little unlucky at some of the shots, and there was a couple of charges there that I'm not going to say, but still, he has learned to distribute the ball. But I think you mentioned, you and I talked at the very beginning of the year that you were a little concerned that he wasn't shooting the ball enough. And I think he's kind of gotten, maybe you don't agree, but he's kind of gotten to a point in his game that he kind of understands when they need a basket, when he's open, take the shot, and not just always look for distributing, because he's a very unselfish guy.
Absolutely, and he is getting back to that understanding. And it's not Coach Rigsby wants Carter Webb to shoot every shot. No. Coach Rigsby knows how Carter Webb can distribute the basketball, and we need him to do that. But the more attention he can garner from the opposing team defensively, being more aggressive, the more the other four guys on the floor are going to be freed up too. So that's the way it should work. It's not we need Carter Webb to score 50 points every game. That's not it. Carter's got to be more aggressive to free up his teammates more.
If you have to depend on them, you're probably in trouble if you've got to depend on him to have 50 points. That's not the ideal thing to do. He can do it. I mean, he's capable of putting that across, but that's not really the ideal situation that you want, is it?
There's never, I don't know how many hundreds of basketball games I've coached on the high school level. There's never been one that I've went into and said, hey, kid, you need to shoot the ball 22 times this game or X amount of times this game. No, the game flows, ebbs differently from opponent to opponent and style to style. But again, it's not, hey, Carter, we need you to put up 50. It's get more aggressive to garner more attention, again, to free up your teammates.
The one guy that I've been impressed with the last few, and we've been with you for the last two games, but all of his careers, Lyles, he and Carter just kind of like peanut butter and jelly, really. I mean, it's like they kind of know each other's moves, but he does a tremendous job of getting offensive rebounds and putting them back in for big baskets.
He's one of the best, if not the best, offensive rebounder I've ever coached. And I tell you what, he's really turned it on in district play. He might be averaging 16 or 17-ish points per game so far in district play.
Yeah.
He has really, really, really turned it on in this third quarter that we talk about of our season, which is district play.
Well, and you want them to get hot at this time, and you're sitting there in pretty good shape. You've got, 3-2 maybe?
3-2.
Okay. And Blackman is out front and had a tough game against them the other night. What did they bring to the table? What is it that you've got to do to take on the Blackman Blaze? Because they've got their own style. Of course, their coach is really good coach. But a game, I think you lost by 10, but you can play with them.
We can, but now I got to go coach speak on you, John, because like I say, we got to worry about Oakland first.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I was talking about the last game. Really?
I know, I'm aggravating you. They're just so stingy defensively.
Yeah.
Of course, year in, year out, they do such a great job over there, Coach Workman. They're just so stingy defensively. There are things that we could do differently after watching the film and, kind of seeing it live in game that we can do offensively. But we left some things on the table defensively that game. I think that we are now, I can say, we're pretty solid defensively ourselves. Holding a great Riverdale team to 43 last night.
Right.
That's something to hang your hat
right.
on. But there's some things defensively that we could have done a little differently versus Blackman in that game.
Well, looking at your last three games here, you've held your opponents in the 40s, even except for the Blackman game. And that's kind of what you want. You beat Oakland in a close one. Now we can talk about Oakland.
Yeah.
Now,
talk about
they're 0-5, I think, something like that.
It don't matter.
But it does not. They're the best 0-5 team that you're going to play. I mean, they really are. They're really tough.
Scare me to death.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that we'll get them at home, especially after the atmosphere we had last night. It's proven that we'll have that again Tuesday. I'm confident in that with our student section and the buzz that was there. But, they're very tough, very athletic. Haggard, Wiley, Kyle, anybody he throws out there knows how to score the basketball. So back to when I say we're solid defensively, our guys, if they want to win Tuesday night, better not let me down in that statement.
And that was a huge win you had there. I mean, I don't, and I know you were disappointed with the Riverdale loss, but that's a win that a lot of people may have gone, well, that if you get that one, that's a good thing. So now you got to man the ship and keep it afloat and make sure you take them this time there at Siegel. I wanted to mention something before I let you go today about depth. You know, the last couple of years, you haven't had a lot of depth. I have noticed, though, that you started to get a little younger coming off the bench, and man, they're playing really well. You know, if you don't want them to, you know, you're playing them enough minutes to see what they can do. And what is Martin and Goring and I think I'm missing one.
Messiah Powell.
Yeah, and they've put in some big minutes for you guys lately.
I'll tell you, talking about Damon Goring is the skill has been there since he was a freshman. Mm-hmm. He is very skilled ball-wise. And he just had to get a little confidence about him, had to feel a little bit better about himself. And, maybe I could have done a better job and sped that process up for him. But throughout the last several months, year, whatever, but that has hit for him, and he's getting the minutes that he deserves. It's so cool to see that progression in him because we need him, of course. Messiah Powell's a sophomore, very athletic. Of course, he was new to our program, so it took him a while to pick up our stuff and what we want to run offensively and kind of our style. But he's starting to get some minutes that he deserves. And Kel Martin is a freshman. Hits a big three last night, and he can do that. Kel can shoot the ball from three very well. I've been on this radio show complaining because we've not shot the three very well as a team, so we need him to do that. And Damon can too. Damon can help shooting as well.
I don't know if I've left somebody out, but I do know defensively last night was one of the better defensive games I've seen from any team, and I know you're really proud of them, but because Riverdale is so talented. And they've got some scorers. It's one game at a time. Oakland coming up next. And who you got after that? Rockville. Mm-hmm. So those are two big games. And huge. Rockville's behind you or in the standing, tied, I think, same record. So it's a big game.
If I look at it correctly, us, Rockville, after last night, we're both tied 3-2. Riverdale's still right there. I think they're 2-3.
Yeah.
It's a log jam.
Yeah.
Again, Oakland's so stinking dangerous. Blackman, we know all about them. Of course, they're sitting at the top spot without a loss. So it's going to be an interesting last three games, to say the least.
Matt, when you look at the district and district tournaments, boys it's always an exciting tournament because you got those teams like Oakland that the record doesn't really indicate it, but, you and I have seen them all year. We know what kind of players they are, know what kind of team they are. Riverdale's the same thing. Rockville can beat anybody any night. You can beat anybody any night. And even Blackman sitting there on top, they got to know that anybody can beat them any night. I mean, it's that tight, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, we're all kidding ourselves if we don't just say the elephant that's in the room is just don't be in that 4-seed, 5-seed play-in game. You want to be 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
Because, again, anybody in this district is so stinking dangerous. You don't want to leave it up to a one-game for chance situation or you can go home.
Yeah.
So everybody is thinking 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting. And I think, do you feel, I know the Blackman lost, but do you feel like you're playing your best ball now, or there's still some ways to go?
I tell you what, I would love to say yes, but I'd be lying to you, John, because we are still up and down a little bit and lack some consistency in some areas. And that's a little nerve-wracking, but, I mean, that's also coaching, too. We still have plenty of time to fine-tune those things, those areas where we are a little up and down. As long as effort and attitude is not one of those things that's going to be lacking from night in to night out, we can work on the other things.
Matt, I think we're going to be there again Tuesday night.
Really?
We're becoming your flagship station. No, I'm kidding, but it's been great to be up there and see the Stars play, and I think we are there Tuesday. I don't quote me on that, but I believe we are. So you'll be able to hear that game. Now I've got to do before I let you go. You got to sit through two ads here.
We got to make some money somehow.
I've messed up. I almost offered you one of them. Here we go. The Coach's Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day. And also Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations, Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. Thanks for hanging in there with me while I did that. That's Matt Rigsby, the head coach of the Siegel Stars. Good luck to them this week. And coming up, district tournament, 2 weeks away?
That's incredible to think.
I can't even believe we're that far. All right, coming up now, it's Cougar Corner. This has been the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
John Dinkins here with you for the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. And we have a guest from Eagleville. It's Davey McLaren, the head coach of the Eagleville boys. And Davey, before we talk to you, I want to tell you that this portion of the show is brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. All right, now we can talk a little basketball. Big win last night and on the road, and on the roads they're always big wins, aren't they?
Yes, sir. We got a good district win last night. Everyone got to get on the floor last night, and it's always a good night when you can clear the bench and everybody gets a little piece of the action.
Yeah, in fact, you've had 2 or 3 games just recently where you've gotten to see quite a few of the players. I want to talk about kind of the last 3 games here, and boy, you've really a big win over Fayetteville, 84-26. Rockville came to town and you defeated them 58-46. Now that's out of another district, and I think that was maybe one of your more impressive wins.
Yeah, I mean the boys, they were locked in well, and they followed the game plan real well, and they executed and just played really hard and just accepted the challenge, and I was just really proud of them.
And then, of course, had to go on the road last night, 174-28. And I want to talk about a few of your players. I know Vega had a good game last night, but I want to kind of talk about, if we can, some of the players because I've had an opportunity to see them about 4 or 5 times, more than I usually get to see them. And you've got a little bit of everything that you need. I know Cole I got 1,000 points and was recognized. And let's start with him and what he adds to this team.
Yes, sir. He's he's one of those athletes that can do a little bit of everything. He's the type of player that if he's got the size advantage, we can put him on the block. If they match up a big with him, he can go out to the guard position and we can utilize his skill set outside. So he's kind of one of those utility players. He's really athletic and he's got good size. So we try to just put him where he's got the advantage.
And moving around, we've got Jackson Nichols, a tremendous outside shooter, a good rebounder, kind of an all-around guy you need down low.
Yeah, Jackson has obviously in the past and this year as well has kind of made a name for himself being able to knock down some shots. But he's taken on, a role this year trying to become one of our defenders out front with his length and just, from the weight room this past fall and everything, he's got a lot stronger and a little more mobile. And so he really has taken on a defender mindset as well, and trying to make a difference on both ends. So really proud of his progress on both ends of the floor.
We talked about Bega, I think, the last time we were talked together. We talked about Bega and not your typical looking point guard, but he gets the job done and distributes the ball well.
Yeah, James is, he's a very, he likes to distribute the ball. He celebrates a score, often assists as much as he would if he scored the points himself. And he's more of a point forward type player, but because he is just a willing passer and he's got good court vision, he does a really good job out front. He understands the different spots on the floor, because when I bring Adrian Sabiri in off the bench and he assumes the point guard position, I can play James in any of the other four spots on the floor. So it's good to have a player out there that understands all those spots.
I've left somebody out? Clay, maybe? Was it Clay? I forgot who. Down low.
Gray Barker.
Yeah, Gray. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of his last name, and I missed his first name. Yeah, what a tremendous player he is, and he, Davey, when you describe basketball players and you want to pick one, he just looks like a basketball player, and a good one.
Yeah, he's sneaky athletic, long. He's tough. He's just really tough. He'll take on any challenge. Defensively, we switch every screen, so our bigs can sometimes be matched up with guards. Our guards can be matched up with bigs, and at our level with the size that we've got in the single A level, it is quite an advantage to have that ability. And Gray is no exception to that. He is always at the beginning of the game matched up with the other team's big, but he can get out front and guard the guard. He's super long and athletic, and he's just got, he can get off the floor quick, and he's just got a tremendous vertical. So
I love to watch him play. He's amazing. And then you've got Brady Burns, who kind of gives you that physicality inside. And then I guess Owen, too, now has started some games, and he can put up a three.
Yeah, Brady, he's kind of our enforcer. He gets in there and he sets the tone with his, like you said, his physicality. He battles down low. He doesn't give anything easy. It doesn't give, easy looks on the defensive end. Doesn't give easy rebounds. He takes that role on and he enjoys that role. And you can't be who we are without that identity. And he's a major component in that. And then, yeah, Owen has really, gained a lot of confidence. He and Jackson are both right there leading the team in threes. I don't know who's made more this year, but they're right there. They've both made they're close to 50 threes made this year each, and so and they're both shooting over 40% on the year. So those two get on the floor and they gain a lot of attention because they can knock the outside shot down. So it opens the lanes up for players like Camden and James to get downhill and get good looks at the rim, because you pick your poison. You either stop the drive and kick out for the open three, which, we've so far been able to knock those shots down, or you stay connected to the shooter and you risk, allowing a player to get to the rim and get an and one. So that's working to our advantage right now.
And some kudos to your bench, because you have especially in the guards, you have a really deep bench, and you don't lose a thing. In my opinion, you don't lose hardly anything bringing them off. In fact, sometimes they spark you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't be where we were at without the guys on the bench bringing energy. They're very skilled as well. They're as skilled as any starter. I mean, I could probably have a different lineup just about every night, different roles, but I think these guys off the bench know that their minutes are basically starter minutes, but they're just coming off the bench, and they're just, like you said, sometimes they're either carrying the torch or they're lighting the torch and getting us started. So have a lot of faith in those guys on the bench. They've put in as much work as any of the guys that have been starting, and this team has just done a really, really good job. It's been fun coaching these guys because they've accepted the roles and they're flourishing in those roles right now.
Yeah, you've got some good freshmen and sophomores coming up too that are going to contribute, and just an exciting team to watch. Now, you've got 2 more games left in the district to play?
Yes, sir.
And then, so what's your goal here? I know you take one game at a time, and I know you're undefeated in district play. You want to get that top spot if at all possible, and it looks like you're on your way if you can take these 2 games, or at least one of the 2, right?
Yes, sir. This is kind of an odd year for our district. Usually our district is very competitive, and I don't say that in disrespect to any of our teams, but traditionally Fayetteville City's always been a team that, is in the state rankings, and Moore County is always a, contender, and Huntland always has, and they've just graduated everybody. Everybody's rebuilding at one time. So, all the teams that we're playing have just a lot of young, inexperienced guys that just aren't there yet. And so for us, with the experience and the guys that we have on the team, it becomes very challenging to try to stay sharp, not play those. You don't want to. I know the scores look bad, but last night we didn't even play our starters more than 8 minutes. And the 6 through 10 kids, they played 10 minutes last night. We had it scripted, and so our 11 through 15 guys last night had 13 to 14 minutes they played last night. And so really proud that they can get those, but, you worry about keeping kids sharp on the floor. And all of our teams in our district are just going through that rebuilding phase. And but then you turn to region play, and you have Santa Fe, who's top 3 teams in the state, and Richland, who's in the top 10. And so you don't want to lose that edge. So it's very challenging. And that's why we had Rockville, and those teams on our schedule.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, you inserted some teams, particularly before and during the regular season, and like Rockville's a big test for you guys, and you passed that one, but it gives an ability for all those guys to play in a game, in a close game too, because it kind of stayed about the same the entire way.
Yeah, it took us a moment to get back adjusted to playing at a different speed and a different physicality. It was really good for us. I was proud of how we adjusted at halftime. Rockville's athlete, especially, for considering a single A, you don't see those caliber athletes every night. And so it took us a moment to adjust, and I was proud how the guys responded. They didn't panic. They didn't fold. They didn't, whine about anything. They just got better each quarter. And so proud to see that, and hopefully we keep that.
They don't get intimidated much either, do they? I mean, they really don't, from what I can see. And I think is a lot of that because they've played together since, it's a K-12, but some of them have played together since junior high, middle school.
Yeah, I think, they have a lot of confidence in their teammates, but I also think it's just because of how hard they work.
Yeah.
You don't lose your confidence just because of who you're playing. And so they've earned that confidence. They work hard every day in practice, and it's not just something that's going to go away because of who's in front of you. So they're very confident because they know they've put a lot of hard work in, and that just flows over into the game. And so, I really don't think they care who you put in front of them. And, we've played tough teams all summer long. We didn't play a single league school all summer long at camps. We went out to West Tennessee and played a lot of teams out of, that area. And we saw, we played Memphis Whitehaven and at camp, and they're phenomenal. So, they've been challenged, and they know what they're capable of, and that confidence is hopefully going to help push us through.
One last thing before I let you go, Davey. I think we've got senior night coming up. Is that right?
Senior night on Friday.
Friday night, and you don't have a lot of seniors, but I know the ones that you do. I know that you're going to be sad to see them go, and it's a real special night there, and Eagleville does it up right for those seniors.
Yeah, we have 5 seniors. 2 see the floor a lot. 3 don't see the floor a whole lot, but those 3 that have not been on the floor have had a tremendous impact on the success of this team. They work hard every day. They don't take on the idea, well, I'm not getting on the floor, so I don't push. Their focus is, I'm going to help this team get better, and I'm going to challenge them every single day in practice, and they do. And so that's what you want out of your seniors, regardless of what their role is on the team. Those guys will definitely, and I don't want to get rid of them anytime soon, but they'll definitely be missed next year because, they have come in with the right attitude every day since they were freshmen, and extremely proud of them. And we wouldn't be where we are without all 5 of them.
Well, Davey, we appreciate you being on the show this morning. Got a big week and a half, 2 weeks left, and we'll see you in district tournament play pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. That's Davey McLaren, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. They're on a roll right now, and they'll have a home game next week, and that's next Friday. That's senior night. If you don't have anything else to do, you don't live in Eagleville, but you can go by and see them and say goodbye to some of these guys. All right. Coming up, it's going to be Cougar Corner. That's it for the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
And welcome to Cougar Corner. I'm John Dinkins here with you today. It's my honor to be here hosting this portion of the Cougar Corner. MTCS and our coach, Greg Eubanks, the head coach of the MTCS boys. And, Coach, we got a lot to talk about today, and not all of it, well, it is basketball related, but not all of it is team related, okay? So you're going to be the spokesperson for Middle Tennessee Christian.
I love it. Good
All
morning,
right,
and I want to say good morning, John. I'm glad to be with you this morning.
We are about getting ready for springtime, too. Have you noticed? I know it's cold today, but I think the forecast is getting hard to play basketball inside with the weather being 70 degrees.
It is nice. It is nice to go after practice and I look out and see that there's still daylight.
Amen. Amen to that.
Go to school in the morning, it's dark, and go home at night when it's dark. So it's nice.
Yeah, it's about, isn't it?
Daylight sometimes.
It could be the most depressing, basketball could be the most depressing sport ever because of daylight saving time and not having it. That's my feeling.
Exactly. Particularly for my wife, and she comes to the games, and she gets off work. And then she's like, "Oh my goodness, it's probably going to bed," and she just has to drive and come out, and then you get all the lights and that's the great thing about the basketball game: the cheerleaders and the band and the music and the announcers and the energy, and it's a good time every time you can come out to the game.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I can't think of a better place to be than MTCS on a Friday night. Watching some basketball. There's a lot of basketball going on right now, and it is basically the James C. Hill tournament, and gosh, there's a lot of teams, and I know every year it looks like it's an unbelievable challenge, but you guys do such a great job with that, and I guess you've done it, everyone's done it so long that it's just second nature, but just really a tremendous tournament.
Well, it takes a tremendous amount of work. And Jason Piercy, our athletic director, and used to be the basketball coach at MTCS, he has been doing it for a long time. And, there's a science to it, and trying to organize 90 teams, and certain teams can't play certain days. And sometimes the same coach is coaching the boys and the girls. And sometimes, you've got teams traveling 2.5 hours from literally all over the state to come down and do it. So there's a science to it, but let me tell you the truth is it's a lot of hard work by a lot of people. And I'm not as involved as I would like to be because we're coaching our own team, but it's a tremendous exposure for our school. We have unbelievable facilities that are able to host games in 2 different gyms, and typically we host the 5th and 6th grade games over in Miller Gym, which is our old original gym, and it's a little bit smaller, but it's a perfect size for a 5th and 6th grade game. And then our middle school plays in our varsity gym, so the gym is jam-packed every single night of the week, and on for the last 3 Saturdays. And so today is Championship Saturday day, and so there'll be games going on. I believe the first one starts around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and the last one starts at our boys are playing at 4:45, I believe, in the championship game of their division. And then there's a championship games later on, even on tonight. And so some really, really good basketball if somebody just likes basketball and likes watching kids play, because the skill level of these kids, of the boys and the girls that are there, is just great. It's really, really great. And so it's a fun day, and the gym will be jam-packed. The parking lot will be jam-packed, and we have great concessions. And, yeah, there's no place else better that you want to be.
Coach, when you look at what a way to show off your school, too. All these teams from different places, and parents and grandparents and cousins and nieces and nephews getting a chance to see some basketball all day long. I know that's been a real key to MTCS, but it takes a lot of people to help Jason here with this. And I know the baseball coach, Jamie's involved. Just about everybody is doing something, whether it's concessions or pulling the bleachers out. There's something to do every day in this tournament.
Yeah, selling T-shirts. Billy Snell, who's one of our assistant athletic directors and has been a PE coach for a long time, he's been really involved. And Randy King, former Oakland coach, he's there to help monitor the gym, to keep everybody under control. And we have teachers that are selling T-shirts and teachers that are working in the concession stand, because it benefits all of the athletic teams and all the athletic departments to help raise the level of the programs that we have to offer. So, and we've got and we do have that as a full service school with our 2 strength coaches and our fantastic weight room, and it's just it's a great place to be. And when we're seeing that with our enrollment numbers too, we have waiting lists of kids trying to get into our school, and in particular at the middle school level. And we start re-enroll. We've already started re-enrollment for next year, so it's a great place, and it's an exciting place, and we have great leadership, and there's a vision. When there's a vision there, it often helps with just to know where to go. And people perish where there is no vision, it says in Proverbs, and so I really appreciate Mr. Tiller and Dr. Sane and our middle school principal, Mr. Smith, with the vision that they have for our school. And they really believe athletics is important, and that's why they've invested in the athletic program that we have with our video boards, and Troy Berry and Kelly Mullins are two people in our tech department that really will make the atmosphere special for the kids tonight at the championship game, with spotlights and music and all types of things to really make the kids feel special. And in fact, our girls team played somebody last year in the playoffs, somebody, or maybe it was the year before, but they came in from a real long ways away, and some of the girls from that team said, "Oh yeah, I remember playing here when I was in middle school."
Yeah.
And they just have really fond memories of that. And so, they go on to play at the high school level, and there's this is just a great experience for these middle school kids and their families.
Well, let's speak of the middle school team. They're 19-2, and they're competing. They're going to be, what you said, 4:45 at the championship game versus Waynesboro. I know you're proud of that group and the coaches there that have done a great job. And the 5th and 6th grade team, 16-4. There's 35 wins there between two teams that you're going to see in the coming years here.
Yeah, Blake Oakley is one of our coaches, and he's really headed up that middle school program this year. We've had tremendous interest. We ended up keeping 30 kids in the 5th through 8th grade, and we created 4 teams out of those 30 kids to try to give as many opportunities as possible. So we'd have a 5th and 6th grade varsity, a 5th and 6th grade JV, and then a middle school varsity and a middle school JV. And so those kids have played a lot of games since October, and it's been really good. We have 5 coaches for those teams. So when they practice, it is well organized and focused on fundamentals and focused on teaching and focused on playing really hard and competitive. And so it's been really, really good. Darius Dixon is probably our best athlete on that middle school team, and he has a special motor. It goes 100 miles an hour, and he is an intense player, and boy, he is fun to watch as he just explodes. He's literally exploding all over the court, and he does a great job. And there's other guys on that team who have done really, really well and gotten better. And then we have a 5th grader who's actually Keelan Thomas, who's actually the middle school starting point guard, and he's a special player and can really handle the ball, and he's just a tremendous young man, and who is still technically in elementary school as far as our school goes. And so I always think about how he has to walk in line, he has to eat lunch at a certain spot, and has all these rules that you have to do with elementary school children. Then when he gets out on the court, he just goes, and he's a different type of kid. So Blake Oakley's kind of headed up our middle school program, and then Will Thomas is kind of the head coach for the middle school team, and Eric Owens is helping him out also, and then Blake coached the 5th and 6th grade team, and there's other people involved, but it's there's people up in our gym all the time working on their skills, and it's just it's really encouraging and to watch those kids play. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where we have 2 8th graders playing on our high school team, Dre Tyler and Noah Owens, and talked to them this week about kind of trying to keep things in perspective. That if they had stayed on the middle school team, they'd be dominating. Our middle school team's dominating now, but how much more would they be dominating? But how much more they have grown by playing in the high school season this year, because you can't simulate size and speed and those type of things at the middle school level. So those guys are learning how to play at a higher level, so we can just progress, to have their progression move along as to allow them to be the best player they can be. And they've both done a tremendous job on our high school team this year. And we're just going to get better, and we're continuing to work and build and just spend every day trying to get, to be the best that we can be. So,
not only mentally but physically, there's a big difference between an 8th grader and a senior in high school.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they have to battle that as too as well, don't they?
You have to. There's a lot of, we talk about, football is a collision sport and basketball is a contact sport. And so there's a lot of loose balls and there's a lot of contact when you go to the basket. And there's a lot of contact on rebounds. And if you don't enjoy contact, you're not going to really enjoy basketball. And so it's part of the game, the physicality. And if you watch Tennessee's playing Florida today, and you watch them. I've been watching some of these Tennessee games this year, and it is so physical. It's unbelievable how guys are just grabbing each other. In the Auburn game with Tennessee last week, the guy grabbed the one player and pulled him down, and they called traveling on the Tennessee player. So so that physicality just works its way down to the high school level too. And so it's been good for them, and they know what they got to work on. And when this season ends, we'll start working on the next season, and it's just a continuous process of how do we get bigger, stronger, faster. And there's time just takes time sometimes, and so that's it's an encouraging thing that we'll add these 8th graders to the roster. And then I forgot about this guy. There's another 8th grader who's ineligible to play because he transferred into our school, and but he's been practicing with the varsity. His name's Carter Scroggins, and we're really excited about him and the type of player he can be. But he's been practicing with the varsity all season and has done a great job with us. And so, the incoming freshman class, the current 8th grade class, is really, really strong. And there's some really strong classes below them. And so it's just going to take time, and we're just going to keep grinding and seeing what we can do to add the pieces to the puzzle.
Greg Eubanks is our guest here on MTCS Cougar Corner. And, Coach, I was talking to Eagleville's coach the other day, last week actually, and he was talking about the injuries he's had. I think you pretty much are right in that same boat, illnesses, injuries, and it's part of the game, I know, but boy, it sure stops progress a lot of times, but you're getting healthier now.
We are healthier now, but it has been a challenge. It's been a challenge. We have two seniors, and it's just one example of Mac Harvey and Briggs Boyd, and they played their first game together last night, and then the last time that they both played in the same game was December the 20th. And so it has been a long time with both those guys out. We've had guys with broken noses and hurt elbows and mono and concussions. And it's not just been like the flu's going through our team. We've had hurt ankles. We've had hurt knees. It's just been unbelievable. In my 18 years of coaching, I've never had this many types of injuries. And so it has been an adjustment, and so we've gone into varsity high school games against really good teams with basically a JV team, and you can imagine the results that happened out of that. So for those guys who got to play in those games, it was a good experience and trying to learn what it takes to get at that level, but it's not very much fun at the present time. And so, we got almost everybody healthy again. We're still missing one kid, and he'll probably be out for the rest of the season. And we've actually added a player now because we had Jediah Whitaker transferred in last year, and so he was ineligible for 12 months per the TWA rules that are in effect today. Who knows if they'll be in effect next week or the week after, but that's a different story. But he played in his first game on Tuesday when we played over at Franklin Road Academy. And so he adds He adds some good things to us, and we're anticipating a couple more guys becoming eligible next week. And so that just adds to our depth, and it adds to our competitive spirit. And but again, it's kind of when Jediah came in, he has to learn the things that it really takes to win a high school basketball game, which is different from the AAU game and different from playing pickup. There's that physicality that we talk about. It's that being in position. It's that those guys working together in groups of 5. And so, we have a chance to play this afternoon, and we're playing over at Franklin Christian Academy, and I'm really excited to see what we can do with Jediah more in the lineup and added some depth, and see if we can learn from this experience and have a good experience over there.
It kind of makes it for a more positive, fun situation that you get to see some of these kids grow, and with the new players as well. And it's not a district that you really need to play JV quality guys. I mean, in terms of, you're playing younger kids and that kind of thing, kids that haven't played a lot, because this district's really, really tough.
Our district's really, really tough. I mean, the other private school in Murfreesboro has the number 1 and number 2 ranked players in the state of Tennessee for the class of 2026, right? So they have 2, in addition to the other guys that they have. BGA has tremendous athletes. They were very good in football, and that one of them is Arnett Hayes, who has the Hayes, of a Rutherford County lore, and his sisters, and who are all really, really good athletes that plays over at BGA. And even USN has a player that's going to go to Palm Beach Atlantic, and he's a really good player. So our district is full of really good athletes. Not to say anything for our region, because Friendship Christian and Good Pasture, oh my goodness, they're so good and so athletic and have so much size. And so if we can get out of our district, getting out of our region will be a challenge too. So the best basketball is played in Middle Tennessee. And so it's a challenge every single night that you got to go out and you got to give everything you have. And so, but it's a work in process, and we're taking a long-term view to it, and just trying to be patient. And whenever this season ends, we'll start preparing for next season, and seeing what we can do to just keep getting better and improving.
You got 2 more district games, Coach, and then it's the district tournament. And, it just seemed like yesterday we were starting practice, and now here we are again. And at my age, I wish it would slow down a little bit. But what are you looking for out of the last 2 games and going into this district tournament?
Here's what I really like about this team. What I really like about this team is they seem to really like each other. And I think we've done a good job in that. I think that's a testimony to the quality of the seniors that we have, the quality of people that we have for the seniors who have set the tone for our team. And we've had some of our best practices. We had our best practices of the year on Monday and Wednesday of this week, where kids were competitive and communicated, and they're just playing so hard. And I just really hope these last few games that we have, that number one, that the seniors have good memories of them, that they give the very best effort that they have. And I totally, truly believe that they will, because all of our seniors have at times where they've been sick or injured or absent or whatever it is. And so they're still really, really hungry to play. And I just really hope that our team will play until the final whistle, right? Because for all of us, we have that final time. Sometimes, there'll be a final time when they say, okay, you can't put the uniform on anymore. And being part of a team is so special. And I really like this team. I like the kids on our team. They really try. They're coachable. And they're good people with good parents, and I'm just so grateful that I'm a part of their lives and that they're a part of my life. And so we're looking forward to that for the seniors. And then for the other kids, for the younger kids, it's just to try to gain as much experience as possible so that come next year, we've been to visit these places. We know what it's like. We know what it's going to take. And we can start with a focus of improvement and being the best that we can. Just using every day as a learning experience.
Well, as one sport is closing, you've got baseball and softball just around the corner. I guess they start practice pretty soon in a couple of weeks, I guess, don't they?
They do. I think they start around February 15th or so. And so, kids have been throwing a lot and doing individual type work. We have a new softball coach this year at MTCS, and I was told yesterday, I think there's like 30 girls or so.
That's awesome. That's an awesome number.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. And Jamie Carver, Caden King, who's just a junior, but he's already committed to Texas A&M, and Kason Hill, who's already committed to Samford, and there's a couple other really good players. And speaking of baseball players, Drew Prosser and Nate Fogel are two baseball players who played basketball for us this year. And I said this before, that I think it's just tremendous for them to play basketball, to do something different with their bodies, to have different type of movements, and have different coaches. So I'm really looking forward to what Nate and Drew do this spring because they're really, really good baseball players. And so it'll be around the corner, and I'm sure we'll have another winter, some more winter weather coming through, and people will be bundled up watching baseball and softball and track and all the different spring sports that we have, tennis. And so, but hopefully spring will be here soon, and the days will get longer, and then before you know it, we'll have graduation. So. Yeah,
and there's always seems to be some kind of project going on at MTCS, and the just growing. I mean, there's something every day, and y'all are always looking. It seems like administration is always looking for new ideas and ways to improve, whether it's the athletic or academic as well. I think a lot of times we forget about on this show about the academic end of it, but there's a lot of things going on, new buildings and that kind of thing.
Well, in fact, if you come by campus or drive by campus just on Memorial Boulevard, our new early learning center is coming to completion. So when it's complete in August or July of this year, whenever it's finished, it is, number one, it's a huge building that kind of sits between our regular building and our softball field. And so now we'll have a circle drive that go all the way around the school and make pick up and drop off much easier. And hopefully there won't be as many cars parked on Memorial Boulevard in the afternoons and in the mornings. But when that's complete, we'll have everybody on the same campus, and it's going to be really, really great. So it's we call it Alpha and Omega. Those kids who start from the earliest time until they actually graduate in 12th grade, and it's a great place and lots of love and lots of memories, and it's really just a place their family can say, hey, I can plant our flag here, and we're all in, and we're so grateful for those families that just are all into MTCS.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. You got a busy day ahead of you.
I do.
You've got some middle school, and you got your own game to worry about. That's Franklin Christian Academy, correct?
Franklin Christian Academy, which is a new school to the TWSAA, and they're going to be in our district next year. And so we were supposed to play them at our place, and we played them once already. We were supposed to play them at our place, but the snow got us a couple of weeks ago. And so because of the hail tournament, we're going to play over their place again. So we're looking, again, it's a chance to play with our friends and a chance to compete. And again, I like this team so much.
Well, I don't know how you're going to make that middle school championship and that game too. So
that's going to be. I've got it taped.
There you go.
I'll watch the middle school game tonight. So,
all right.
Yeah.
That sounds good, Coach. Appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all y'all do for high school sports and for the city of Murfreesboro.
All right, that's going to do it for Cougar Corner. I'm just going to wrap it up right here. Appreciate Coach Greg Eubanks and everybody over at MTCS. And I think they're taking applications now, I believe.
Absolutely.
All right. So join us next week when we host Cougar Corner.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way